High the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, it proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
These are the officials for tonight's game. Bob Hall, the referee. John D'Amico and Ray Scapanello, the two linesmen. And the netminders for tonight.
There's a look at Roberto Romano, a surprise start. We thought we might be seeing Joe Malash in goal. Romano with a 3.55 goals against average was in goal for the win last night over the Rangers. Played well in here last year when the Penguins and Blackhawks hooked up in a 5-5 tie. That guy did not play particularly well against the Pens last year. You see his goals against last season, a 4.48 goals against. It ballooned on him. That's Murray Bannerman in goal for the Hawks.
The man that sang the national anthem, Wayne Mesmer, may be the best in the National Hockey League, and this place just rocks. They started right from the beginning. The puck is played into the Penguins' end. Romano smothers up. They started cheering from the moment he said, "Oh, say, can you see?" And they kept it going here in Chicago. I'll tell you, if you're a player, a visiting player, it's got to make you feel just as excited as it does for the home team. At least it does to me. You get the adrenaline going, you feel it, you want to play well in front of a large crowd that's noisy, and there's something about coming here and playing against the Hawks. Now Troy Murray, one of the better defensive forwards in the National Hockey League, against Mario Lemieux. Face off to the right of Romano. Kurt Frazier and Bill Watson on the wings for Troy Murray. Lemieux joined by Ruskowski and Dan Frawley out here for the Pens. And the puck played deep in behind the Penguin net. Frazier goes for it, centers it to Troy Murray, but he panned on it. Dan Frawley carries the mail back to Ruskowski, up to Lemieux. Mario had it stripped away by Gary Nyman, newcomer on defense for the Chicago Blackhawks, signed as a free agent this past summer. Now it comes to Troy Murray. Murray centers it. Bill Watson took a crack at it. Oh, Romano is crunched in front by his own defenseman, I believe, and he covers up on the puck and somehow keeps it out. I believe his own defenseman hit him. Somebody may have hit Rod Buskus. We'll get another look at it. On the TV side of our simulcast tonight, we're happy to have you on board. But Romano was hit heavily in the goal crease. I'll tell you what happened. It was Kurt Frazier. And he was hit from behind by Doug Bodger.
Yep, Kurt Frazier has been known to come in and barge in on that goal crease. In fact, a lot of these Blackhawks do that. They're noted for that. Al Secord, another one. Darryl Sutter will do it to you. And that time, Kurt Frazier cutting into the crease and knocking Romano down. And you may remember a while back, a couple of years ago, when Kurt Frazier got into it with Billy Smith in a little stick swinging incident, and Smith cracked him over the collarbone, ended up breaking his cheekbone, actually. And so Frazier is very familiar with the rough going around the net, and Romano now familiar with it too, getting knocked down by Frazier in that goal.
Well, he was in there, but Bodger is the man that sent him in. Bodger's the man that cross-checked him, knocked him into goaltender Roberto Romano. By the way, the Penguins tonight, the scratches include Mike Blaisdell, Dwight Mathias, and Rob Brown, and Kevin LaValle. Warren Young will play tonight for the Penguins. In addition, I got to check the bench because Bob Berry had not made up his mind prior to the game whether he would scratch Norm Schmidt and play Randy Hillier or not. And I see Hillier on the bench, so Schmidt has been a scratch. Dennis Savard, one of the more exciting players in the NHL. John Chabot draws the assignment on him in a checking role. Chabot out with Bob Berry and Willie Lindstrom. The puck dropped in the Penguin zone, and Willie Lindstrom slides it around. Wayne Presley, second-year right winger. Al Secord on either side of Dennis Savard. Savard tried to center and came up the skater Romano. And the puck is controlled now by Shabbat. Shabbat played up the far boards, and Bob Erie scrambles up to center ice for the Penguins. Leave it inside the Chicago line, but Lindstrom was just ahead on the play, and it's an offside call against the Penguins. Chicago 1-0 at home. They lost last night to Detroit 4-3 in Detroit. The Penguins, of course, 2-0.
Willie Lindstrom scored a goal here in Chicago last season in that 5-5 tie. One of his first goals as a Penguin. He has 300 career NHL points now.
Bannerman's first start in the net tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks. Last year, his worst year ever in the National Hockey League. 4.48 goals against average. He'll be trying to rectify that this season. Dennis Savard put the puck in the face-off, bring it to the Penguins end. Drop pass, Secord cuts in, but he's checked on the last second by Bob Erie, who made a nice defensive play. Secord rams the shoulder into Erie. The puck moved back to the Chicago line. Wayne Presley slip it ahead, but Jim Johnson steals. I think the Penguins, if they can weather the first few minutes of this game, will have an excellent shot here tonight against Chicago. The Hawks are going to come out smoking, trying to get the opening goal and try and take the game away. Penguins just have to try and be patient and work defensively. Hawks into the Penguins and they put it in front. And Romano knocks it aside with a goaltender's stick. Bob Erie slides it up for John Shabbat. He is hit by Mark Bergevin. That's the Chicago defenseman. But the Penguins gain possession back in a penalty coming up against Chicago. Billy Searan was hauled down. And here's a break for the Penguins in the early going. Minute 52 gone in period number 1. No score here in Chicago on the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
Sorry, honey, we're all sold out.
Don't let that happen to you. Buy a Penguin ticket plan. The partial plan is good for 25 games or more, a guaranteed seat location, and additional free tickets. The mini plan allows you to pick your favorite 15 games or more. With these plans, you get first crack at tickets for all home games and playoff games before the general public. Flex 10 coupon books are available too. Call the Pens now at 642-2067. Operators on duty, that's 642-2067.
The penalty goes to Mark Bergevin, a 2-minute minor for tripping. The Penguins on a power play as we go back to action live here at center ice. Keith Brown for the Hawks steers it up into Penguin territory. And Billy Searan. He's working the point out here with Mo Mantham. The points in the center ice. It'll be Lemieux with Bullard and Muskowski on the wings. Dropped into Chicago ice. Gary Nyland gets to the puck first, and it's an icing call against the Penguins. The Penguins on the power play have scored 3 times and a 20% conversion rate in the early going. There's Gary Nyland, who came over to Chicago from Toronto, signed as a free agent. They gave up Ken Yaremchuk and Jerome Dupont. Center iceman Yaremchuk and defenseman Dupont and a 4th-round draft choice as part of the deal.
Mike, on the penalty by Bergevin, the tripping call, he had lined John Shabbat up in the neutral zone. Bergevin is noted for his center ice checks. He really lines you up, and he has bone-crunching checks. And he and Shabbat saw him coming, got out of his way, but Bergevin ended up taking himself out of the play. He had to recover, and that's why he pulled Billy Searan down, and Searan had gotten in behind him.
The Hawks penalty killing includes Ed Olczyk and Troy Murray. Doug Wilson. Tackled by Murray, steal by Mantha, slap shot save made. Lemieux trying to whack it out of the air and put it in. He can't do it. Bullard takes a shot and he just missed. The Bullet thought he had one there, but he tried to feather it into the far post, and he missed by inches. Back the puck is clear to Penguin territory, and Billy Searan handles the biscuit. He'll look for Mike Bullard. Bullard scrambles out of his own end, the Pens captain. Into the left wing corner, up the board. Bob Murray, the veteran, plays it off the stick of Lemieux and up into the crowd here at Chicago. Now 59 seconds to go on the Bergevin penalty. 17:07 left in the first period. And the Penguins and Hawks are scoreless here at Chicago.
Mo Mantha had taken a shot out at the point, and Murray Bannerman got a piece of it. The rebound was lying there. Mike Bullard grabbed it in the slot and wheeled around and tried to shoot it in, and just missed on the far side on Bannerman. He had his arms up in the air thinking the puck had gone into the net, but it went wide of the goal.
Craig Simpson now with Warren Young and Ron Duguay on the power play for the Penguins. Troy Murray and Steve Ludzig penalty killing, and the Hawks can't get it out. Jim Johnson plays it up the boards, went after his own pass, but it came outside the zone. And now Ludzig steers it into Penguin real estate, and Doug Bodger moves back to play the puck. Passing left wing to Craig Simpson. Slided ahead for Warren Young. Little drop pass to Johnson. Has room into the Chicago end left side. Take it down the boards. Got it in behind the net. Young is after it. Young beat it behind the goal to Ron Duguay. Duguay to Simpson. Simpson holds it. Left wing corner. Checked on the play and lost the puck. Cleared by Chicago. 25 to go on the penalty to the Hawks. Scoreless game. 3.5 gone in the first period. Outlet pass right wing comes to Simpson. Man advantage belongs to Pittsburgh. Into the left wing corner. Going for it is Young. He's too well covered. Keith Brown in. He lost it to Craig Simpson. Simpson, the Bodger center point. Not much on that shot. It was partially blocked. Young going to the right wing corner for Duguay. Duguay moves in. Got a man open. Bodger. Slap shot. He shoots and scores. Doug Bodger from the top of the right wing circle. And the Penguins take the lead 1-0. Oh, hallelujah, Hollywood.
What a nice play by Ron Duguay. He cut in from the right faceoff circle towards the slot. He saw Craig Simpson across the way in the left circle. He looked right at him and then dummied it and shot it out to Doug Bodger at the right point, and Bodger blistered one by Bannerman. And not only that, but Duguay had gone right to the net after he made the pass. Duguay going in front of Bannerman, disrupting his vision and allowing the puck to get past Bannerman and into the net. And it may even have hit a stick on the way in, too.
Bodger's game-winning goal last night was off a defenseman, Larry Melnick. That one might have hit a stick. Well, the break's starting to go for the Penguins. No question about it in the early going. But Bodger really rifled it, and the Penguins looking for some more goal production out of him. He was a very high-scoring defenseman as a junior. Hasn't had too many goals in a Penguin uniform, but he got a big one there, a power play goal. Now Lemieux cruising back in. Oh, he runs into Gary Nyland. Two big guys there. Puck point in front. Ruskowski is hauled down. Penalty coming up. Keith Brown of Chicago. A holding call. And the Hawks will be short-handed again. Well, the Penguins scored one on the power play. Let's see if they can make it 2-0 here in Chicago. 1-0 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers fried chicken smells hot. Crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump. Juicy. It tastes so... Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
Keith Brown of the Hawks gets a 2-minute minor for holding at 4:08. The Penguins scored that last power play goal as Bergevin had only 2 seconds left on his penalty. But the Penguins did convert and cash in their 4th power play goal of the year, and here they are again. And a goal here would put the folks at the stadium a little on edge. The Penguins can strike early for a pair of goals. Here's Bullard. He's got room as he comes down to the Hawks line. Down the right side. Drop it up to Ruskowski. Got a man cutting to the net. Lemieux, but Doug Wilson broke up the play. The pass just a little too soft for Lemieux. Hawks come back shorthanded. Penguins lead 1-0. Steve Lutzig bringing it to center. Drop it to Doug Wilson. They'll blast it all the way to the Penguin net. Billy Siren captures the puck. Siren and Mantha. Pass by Siren goes to Bullard. Good sharp pass to Mo Mantha. Now Ruskowski digs it and works into the corner to the right side of the Chicago zone. Leave it for Mike Bullard. Right point. Siren got a man open. Mantha. His shot. That missed. Lemieux trying to whack it in out of midair. Taken out of the play by Bob Murray. And the Hawks come away with it. Here is Siren. Oh, he ran into one of the Hawks. Will get a penalty there. No question about it. Siren will get a penalty on the play. He did not want Eddie Olczyk to come up ice on a 2-on-1 break. And he'll even it up as Billy Siren knocked down Ed Olczyk in the Chicago zone.
Billy Siren at the right point challenged Olczyk. He saw him with his head down and came right after him, hoping to disrupt him, keep him from coming out of the Hawks zone, but he got the stick up on him and knocked him flying along the boards on the right side of that Chicago zone. And so now it'll be even up.
2 minutes more tripping at 5:03. Pittsburgh penalty, Siren. 2 minutes tripping at 5:03.
Tripping the call, although it didn't look like a trip. I guess he got the stick down around him somehow, around his legs, and pulled him down. 5:03 the time.
So they'll skate at equal strength. A minute and 5 seconds, and the Hawks will get a power play chance, unless things change, of course. And they'll put out Savard and Al Secor. Craig Simpson and Ron Duguay on the front line for the Penguins. Even strength at 4 aside. And Mo Mantha looking to move the puck ahead. Got it to Simpson. Now he lost it to Dennis Savard. Drop pass to Secor. Watch these two guys work. And the pass towards the net for Savard is stopped by Pittsburgh. Cleared to center circle. Bergevin near wing at center. Oh, Simpson hit him with a heavy check. And Bergevin turns and knocks him down. Loose puck back in behind the Penguin goal. The Hawks left it in the zone. Penguins bring it out very well. Duguay, long slam shot on Bannerman. That one wide, hit the glass to the right of the Chicago net. And it's controlled by Bob Murray, the Chicago defenseman, number 6. Left wing to Al Secor. Now to Savard. And an offside play. Secor ahead on the left wing. Well, we've got 14-14
Denis Savard, one of the most exciting players in all of hockey out there now in this evens up strength situation. The Hawks will have a power play in 22 seconds when Keith Brown comes out of the penalty box, and then Savard will go to work. In his 7th season with the Chicago Blackhawks, was picked 3rd overall in 1980 by the Hawks after the Montreal Canadiens had passed on him to take Doug Wickenheiser, and the Canadiens have never been able to forget that, and nobody else will let him forget it either.
In 22 seconds, Keith Brown of the Chicago Blackhawks will step on the ice, and here is Dave Manson flattening Ron Duguay from the face-off. Manson, #1 draft choice of the Hawks in 1985. Played with Prince Albert, up with a big club. And he's on defense, joined by Doug Wilson right now. Well, he'll play on the point here, evidently, when the power play gets underway. Work back to the Chicago zone. Doug Wilson going right side to Troy Murray. Well, when they had Doug Wilson and Bob Murray, 2 of the better point men in the National Hockey League, but this young guy, Dave Manson, they have a lot of hope for in the future. Manson, pass looking left wing for Doug Wilson. That stop, and the Penguins now shorthanded for 40 more seconds. Hawks set it up again. Olczyk wrist the puck in behind the Penguin net. Romano can't stop it. Comes around to the near wing. Frazier of Chicago puts it behind the goal for Olczyk. Out to the left point to Wilson. He doesn't shoot it. Goes right side. Manson does. Oh, a heavy shot. He let go. And it was stopped by Romano. Manson's got a good shot, and it's cleared away off the boards. Back into the Chicago into the rink. Doug Wilson hurries it along. Pass by Frazier back for him. It misfired, and Doug Wilson starts up with 12 seconds to go on the Pittsburgh penalty. To Willie Searing. Keith Brown will blast the puck in. Around it comes to the left point. Kurt Frazier held it there. Now put it behind the Penguin net. It comes to Troy Murray alone in the corner. Penalty is over to Searing. He tried to shoot it. Now got it back. Walked in. Turns. Looking. And it's deflected wide of the goal and behind the net. Olczyk around to the right point. Fires it for Keith Brown of Chicago. It goes behind the net for Olczyk to Troy Murray. Olczyk gets it back behind the goal. Near corner to Troy Murray of the Hawks. Put it again in front of Mantha, trying to whack it out of there. Finally does. It'll come back to the Chicago line. Well, the Hawks right now with a little momentum going for themselves. They do not score in the power play. We have played over 8.5 minutes here in the first period. Good sharp pass by Mantha to Dan Frawley. Frawley misfires as he missed the net to the far wing. Bullard gets it though. Whip it around to the near corner. Daryl Sutter of the Chicago Blackhawks. Check by Frawley. Good play. Frawley trying to put it down in front. Now a heavy check in behind the net. Sends Mike Bullard flying. Daryl Sutter. Bullard hasn't got a helmet right now. Around to the right side. Larmer can't get it out. Bullard digging for the puck. Has it. Centers it for Frawley, and he's hit heavily by Gary Nyland. Still the Penguins have it. Here is Bullard coming out to the slot. Turning. Tried to shoot it. Frawley is after it. Great checking right now with the pins. It goes to Young. Young left point to Bodger. Looking back for Young, but Frawley in the corner, and it's all Pittsburgh at the moment. Young centering for Bullard, but he can't quite get to it. And here come the Hawks counterattacking. Daryl Sutter, 3-on-2. Drop pass to Brown. He shoots one, but it was partially blocked by Busquets, and it went wide of the goal. Young throws it ahead. We'll get a penalty coming up against the Hawks as Daryl Sutter pulled down Dan Frawley. And the Hawks again will be shorthanded. 11:27 to go. Period number 1. The Penguins won. The Hawks nothing on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Mercedes-Benz. Unequal design and exhilarating performance are what define today's Mercedes-Benz. A car for the enthusiast, like the sophisticated new 300 class. You'll find them at Wetzel Motor Works, a Mercedes-Benz dealership worthy of the car itself, devoted exclusively to the needs of the Mercedes-Benz owner. An unequaled automobile at an unequal dealership. Wetzel Motor Works is Mercedes-Benz in Pittsburgh, just minutes from downtown in Pittsburgh's South Hills.
Dan Frawley was after the puck in center ice. Daryl Sutter got his arm up around his shoulder and spun him around and pulled him down.
Well, it's going to be Keith Brown. He was the man that was guilty of it. We said Sutter, and the way he reacted, he thought it was going to be against him, but it was Keith Brown who got the penalty for holding.
Well, that's his second penalty of the period, and the Penguins on the power play again. The third time. They have one power play goal here already. Ron Duguay setting up Doug Bodger beautifully.
And Willie Lindstrom working out here on the front line with Lemieux and Terry Ruskowski and Billy Searing. Lead it ahead for Mario Lemieux. Drop pass to Ruskowski. Ruskowski give it to Mantha. Mantha between the circles. His shot deflected by Lindstrom, and it went over the crossbar. Lemieux digs it free in the near corner. Back to Mantha for the Penguins. Left point. His shot blocked. He keeps it in though. Put it up in the air. And Bob Murray with the glove. Tap it ahead. Billy Siren at his own blue line, digging for it. Good checking by Rich Preston. Preston started with the Hawks, then went to New Jersey, and now is back with Chicago. Lemieux with 1:20 to go. In the penalty to the Hawks, Keith Brown. And the Penguins can't make it happen. They would have been offside carrying that puck in. It's cleared out. Lemieux sets the play up at center circle now on the left wing side to Mantha at center, and he'll blast the puck in and go off. The Penguins go to a change. Lemieux comes in. Ruskowski too. They overskate. Here come the Hawks shorthanded. Doug Wilson. Wilson shooting one long, and a good save by Romano on a heavy shot by Doug Wilson. He still has that blistering cannon when he lets it go. It is Jim Johnson. Johnson to Ruskowski. He is hit by Doug Wilson. The Hawks pick up the loose puck and clear. Ball check all the way to the Penguin zone. 43 seconds to go. I don't think the Pins have had a shot on goal yet here in this power play. Here is Craig Simpson. That penalty by Gary Nyman, who really whammed him the ice. And the Hawks again find the open space and move it up into Penguin real estate. Jim Johnson relays it to Mike Bullard. Bullard looks back for Johnson on the exchange, and he has it. Johnson coming to the Chicago zone to Duguay. In the slot to Craig Simpson. Poked into the corner, went after it. Left wing side. Put it behind the net for Mike Bullard. Bullard trying to get around Nyland, trying to come out. Nyland really crunching some people here in this first period. Bullard holds the puck. Now he'll see if he can make it happen. Turns and shoots it on the short side and hit the side of the net. And Mark Bergevin clears ahead. Savard carries the mail. 1-on-3 around 1-on-2, and he gets a shot going. Romano stopped him. Oh, Savard with that brilliant speed and great skating ability. He's got it again. Look out. Savard danced with it around Bodger. Drops it over. He's decked on the play, and play continues. Now Bergevin shoots it towards the net. Romano in front. And it's cleared by Jim Johnson. Now Nyland skates in. The penalty is over. Nyland centers. They go in deep, and they can't make it happen. Secor turning to shoot. It's blocked, and here come the Penguins. It'll be Jim Johnson and Ron Duguay. They got to be tired right now. Johnson still with a good effort. Duguay's got a chance. Moves in. Let it go in front. And he tried to feather the pass in. Oh, Nyland took a whack at Duguay with his stick. And right now, Nyland's like a bulldozer in a construction yard. He's hitting anything it moves. Bergevin off the boards and moved away into the Penguin zone. Penguins lead 1-0. 8:40 to go in period number 1. It's been a good, hard-paced game so far between these two clubs. Well-played hockey game. Here's Bob Erie in the corner. He tried to center it out. It's picked off by Bill Watson. Watson turns it over to Troy Murray. He comes in and really rams Hillier with a shoulder check. And the hitting really picking up now. Good, hard, clean checks. Along the near wing, Doug Wilson at the left point. He tries to keep the puck alive. Does. Hillier has it. Hilliard looking to get it out, and he can't. Here's Wilson, left point. Passed it in behind the Penguin goal. Romano comes in. He almost was decapitated, if you will, as Troy Murray came in. He didn't line him up. He just sent him flying about 15 feet. And he did not get him. And the puck moved back to the Chicago line. Dave Manson shoots it up the left wing, and they're getting the sticks up now, and there's starting to be some heavy hitting going on between these two clubs. Right behind the Pittsburgh goal, Billy Siren. Hawks are out shooting Pittsburgh 9-4 here in the first period. The Penguins lead 1-0. Young comes over. Oh, Manson punches in with a solid check against the wood, and a good clean check by the young defenseman. Doug Wilson corrals it. He goes right wing for Steve Larmer. Larmer now moves in to the Penguins end, and Bodger slings him wide. Good defensive play by Bodger. Rams him into the boards and makes him pay the price. Just everybody's playing the type of game where if you take the puck and make a play, you're going to pay the price. Here's Darryl Sutter. He shoots it, and that's blocked by Mike Bullard. Over to the Penguins. He is hit heavily. And Doug Bodger gets to the puck. You never know, these two clubs played last night, especially the Penguins in overtime. But they're coming out here putting on quite a game so far in the first period. Young of Pittsburgh looking for Frawley. Frawley trying to get to the net. Centers it for Young, and it went behind him. Mike Bullard really working hard in this first period. Great pass. Left side. Johnson a shot. And he missed the net. Now Darryl Sutter trying to clear for the Hawks, and he will flip it up to center. Boy, Mike Bullard has played a whale of a first period here for the Penguins at the stadium tonight so far. Young with an errant pass. Darryl Sutter puts it back into the zone, and Young takes it again. Leaves it for Mo Mantha. Right wing to Dan Frawley. Brown able to steal it away from him. And just move it back into the Penguins' near corner. Johnson's back penalty. Good short drop pass. Passing has been superb by both clubs so far. Long play here, though, and that's going to be an icing call. Yeah, we'll give you a chance to catch your breath. What a dandy we got going in Chicago. The Penguins on top of the Chicago Blackhawks 1-0. And you're watching it and hearing it right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
When the gods want to banish you, they answer your prayers.
A woman who wouldn't be owned.
Why is your freedom more important than mine?
It isn't.
A man who couldn't be tamed.
When did you learn to fly?
Yesterday. A world of beauty and danger that would take them to the limits. Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, in a Sidney Pollack film, Out of Africa, rated PG.
Penguin coach Bob Berry now in his 3rd year with the Pens. There were the shots on goal, but really not indicative of the way it's been going. The Penguins have had several opportunities that haven't gone on the net. They've had good chances. Shots a little misleading, but we've had a good first period of hockey between these two teams. Good, solid, well-played hockey game.
Bob Berry with his game face on today. He's not real happy with the Penguins' performance last night despite the win.
Now Randy Hillier from the Penguins zone. Good pass ahead to John Shabbat. Bob Erie on the left wing and Willie Lindstrom on the right. It comes to Erie, wrist one towards the goal. Erie knocked down in the slot as he let the shot go, and Bannerman handles it easily, and it's turned over by the Hawks all the way deep into Penguin territory. There'll be an icing call.
Mike, one thing about this rink, it's smaller than most rinks in the league. It's one of the smallest in the NHL. There's not much space between the blue lines. And when you have a fast-paced game like this, you can magnify it by about 10 because the ice surface is shorter, and it seems like they get from one end of the rink to the other in a hurry. And then you add to the fact that the Blackhawks have some guys who can really shoot the puck, and I mean blast it from the blue line, and that makes the rink even that much shorter. So it really is tough on the goaltenders. The puck comes off the boards really quickly here, and up and down action is really exciting to watch here in Chicago. And you add that with the fans, and it really makes it great.
Face-off in Chicago territory to the left of Murray Bannerman. Chicago goes into the only goal by Doug Bodger. Here's Lindstrom now putting the puck in front. It went through traffic to Searin at the left point. He recovers to keep the puck in. Play to the left wing corner. And put it in behind the net. Worked around to the far wing. Wayne Presley starting back for the Hawks. Left wing pass to Secord behind him, and Willie Lindstrom counterattacks. He is hit by Bergevin. And every time you touch the puck, you can expect somebody to be right there in your face, coming at you with a good, clean, hard check. Shabbat, he's decked. And that's what we're talking about. Left wing, Secord, offside, called against Chicago. 5:24 left here in this first period. And the Penguins on top, 1-0 to Doug Bodger goal at 3:50. They give Young an assist on that goal, too?
I hope so, because he deserved one. Yes, he got one. Warren Young made a nice play, too. We really didn't mention that, but he poked the puck free in the corner to Ron Duguay off the boards, and that allowed Duguay to cut into the slot and set up Doug Bodger on the power play goal. Al Secord, one of the toughest guys in the National Hockey League. He's an amateur boxer, and he can throw him.
Al Secord, of course, coming to the Chicago Blackhawks from the Boston Bruins in exchange for defenseman Mike O'Connell. A trade that really helped both clubs, but I don't think Boston ever anticipated that Secord would blossom as he did, and he has just been a tremendous hockey player for the Chicago franchise.
And yet Secord was taken 16th overall that year by Boston back in '78. He's one of 2 guys to ever score 50 goals or more in a Chicago Blackhawk uniform. The other guy's number's hanging from the ceiling here somewhere, right over there. Number 9, Bobby Hull.
There's a young guy just handles the face-off for this club, Chicago, a number of times. It's Denny Savard. He might well get there before it's all done. Now Kurt Frazier trying to clear out of his own zone. And here's Troy Murray knocking down Rod Busquets. Boy, the hitting has been tremendous in this first period. Solid hits. Frazier going down the right side. Moves into the Penguin zone. The Hawks are just trying to take it away physically from the Penguins. The Penguins are answering their challenge. They've been hit too, but the Hawks have thrown out a few more checks like it's the first of the month. Now Duguay digging for it. Duguay, he's hit again by Nyland, but Lemieux comes up with Nyland strap. Here's see if Lemieux can make something happen, but he stopped at the blue line. Nyland got trapped way up ice. Nyland comes back to take control of the puck. Long shot, a good one. Save, and reaches for the rebound. Bodger comes in to save the day. Now shot back to the net, and Romano's there to get the stick on it. Lemieux returns. Pass ahead for Briskowski. It's too far. Bannerman clears off the boards and out of the zone. Bill Watson. He'll give it to Frazier. Fakes his shot. Drop pass to Watson. Covered nicely by Jim Johnson. Well, the Penguin defense getting back to help make some big plays here in the first period, too. We approach 4 minutes left in the period. Mike Bullard got the motor going, and watch him fly now. The Bullard, Mike comes in. He's hit by Doug Wilson. Now Cunneyworth puts the body into Doug Wilson. And back come the Chicago Blackhawks. At center ice, Steve Ludzik. It's end-to-end action. Ludzik holding the puck, put it in front. It's off defenseman Jim Johnson, who again got in front to block the attempted pass. Dave Hannon of Pittsburgh Couldn't get to it. Lutzy comes out of the corner. Look out. He turns and shoots, and Romano made the save. And the rebound is clear to the corner. Now Manson puts the pressure on Cunneyworth. Lutzy has it. Lutzy. Centering pass. We'll get a penalty coming up here against Pittsburgh. Penguins will be guilty of a penalty. 3:26 to go. In period number 1, the Penguins lead Chicago 1-0 here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Bronlick-Ressley, one of Pittsburgh's oldest and largest electrical repair and new equipment suppliers, introduces an exclusive 4-year guarantee on electric motor repairs and a 2-year guarantee on new electric motors. 71 years of experience and technical expertise, backed by registered professional engineers, enables Bronlick-Ressley to build quality into all their electrical repair work, from the smallest motors around the home to the largest industrial types. 24-hour service and free pickup and delivery make Bronlick-Ressley the only one to call for electric motor sales, service, and repairs.
The Hawks will put that power play to work again. Randy Cunneyworth goes to the box for holding at 16:34. Chicago with the second best power play in all of hockey last year. They are potent when they have the extra man.
Dennis Savard, and watch him dance. Savard, wheel and deal. They love to set that man open right at the edge of the crease, and that's Larmer. He's in behind the defense right now. They love to put it right in there, and Foster got there before they could get it through to him. And just plant Larmer right at the edge of the crease, and then Savard with that pinpoint passing will fire it through the defenseman right on the stick of Larmer, and that's where he gets a lot of his goals. And Secord will jam up the front to take the defenseman's mind off the situation. Back come the Hawks now from their own zone as the Penguins cleared. Savard lost it to John Shabbat. In a return, it's grabbed by Bob Murray. Now to Secord. To the right wing corner it goes. Played away by the Penguins. Good play by Bodger. And Bodger's had a strong first period for the Penguins. Hawks lead it up. Doug Wilson relays it to Larmer. Larmer trying to leave it for Secord, and he will. Secord's got a man in front there. Savard, he falls down and still shot the puck, but Romano made the save. For the acrobatic moves of Dennis Savard, he still got the shot out somehow, but Romano a better save, and the Penguins clear.
And Romano had gone down very early on that play. He flopped just as the puck came through the goal crease, right to Savard, and he was laying on the ice. Savard got the shot away, and it hit Romano. He had the whole upper part of the net to shoot at.
50 seconds to go on the Pittsburgh penalty to Randy Cunneyworth. Right point Penguins in. It's Keith Brown going to Eddie Olczyk. Olczyk trying to feed it in front of the net. Can't do that. It comes outside. Here now to Savard. Savard looking for a man cutting for the net. Shoots it himself and went right over the crossbar. And Romano kind of shook his head. He knew it was coming, but it went over his head. Now Hannon fumbled with his hand. That's legal. He got it up ahead, and the Hawks go back and grab it. The fans unhappy that Hannon used his hand, but you use anything you can to get that puck out of your own zone, even if it's a hand pass. Here's Olczyk. Olczyk moving in, left wing of the Penguins in to Troy Murray. Murray back to the left point. Nyland, head down, slap shot. It's deflected off Romano's right skate, I believe. Right in behind the Penguin goal. They'll battle for it. Still digging. Bob Hall says, work on, gentlemen, and they do. Shabbat and Troy Murray. And the Hawks have been a punishing team physically here in this first period. It's flipped away by the Penguins back to the Chicago line. And the penalty now has expired as Cunneyworth comes on. Billy Searin comes in. He's bumped. And Kurt Frazier gets to the loose puck. He'll leave it for Gary Nyland in Chicago ice. He just turned it over back to center, and Billy Searin circles. Now pass it up to Randy Cunneyworth. Right wing side to Randy Hillier. Tap it into the Chicago zone. Murray Bannerman played around the near corner, but Warren Young is there. Penguin winger. He digs for it. Crawley in there also. It squirts free. We're down to less than a minute to go in the period. Olczyk. He'll come to center and put it up in the air. Bounce it towards the Penguin net. Going for it will be Randy Hillier. Penguins lead 1-0 here. First period action at Chicago. Crawley is bumped by Lutzy. Hillier throws it out of his own zone. Ahead of the right wing of Crawley. Coming back with Simpson. Simpson now trying to cut inside. He left it in the left wing corner for Warren Young. Less than a half a minute to go in the period. But the Hawks take it away. And they'll come to center. Lutzy moving to the Penguins end. Very few offsides in this game. A shot by Doug Wilson's deflected. Searin trying to clear. He was hit on the play. Simpson leaving the puck for Warren Young. 10 seconds to go in the period. And it's coming to center. Randy Hillier. He'll flip it in. He's got a high stick on the puck, but time is going to run out. And that's the end of the period. We're going to take a 30-second break on our Penguin Network right now and return here to the stadium in Chicago. Let's break for 30 seconds only on the Penguins Hockey Network.
TCI, cable TV, another command performance. With comedy, laughter, we got what you're after. The sport
cage, clearing away the rebounds. The Hawks didn't get those second and third cracks at Romano like they have so many times in this building. So even though the shots are lopsided, the Penguins played pretty well.
All right, we'll take another 30-second break and return here to Chicago in a moment. 1-0 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network. The Penguins did have some good opportunities. We mentioned it several times in the first period that the Penguins did have good scoring chances, but they just missed the net. There's the scoring play. Again, Doug Bodger scoring for the Penguins from Ron Duguay and Warren Young, and the goal coming at 3:50 of the first period of play. The Penguins on the road tonight trying to make it 3 wins in a row on the season. They're tied with New Jersey and Philadelphia for the top spot in the Patrick division. All 3 clubs enter tonight's action with records of 2-0. All right, and we tell you once again, at the end of the first period, the score, the Penguins won, the Chicago Blackhawks nothing, on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm
Case on today, the coach of the Penguins, Bob Berry. Let's hear what he had to say.
And we welcome you back to Chicago Stadium here during this first intermission, a chance to talk with Penguin coach Bob Berry. Bobby, this is your 3rd year with the Pens now, and I guess your system pretty well employed with this club. You got to feel a little bit more comfortable coming into this season.
Well, I think at training camp, when you start to get working on your system, I think the players that have been here before, and we didn't have very much of a turnover, certainly from last year, that was pretty well implanted last year. So we had a little extra time at training camp to work on things like the power play and penalty killing.
Bobby, as far as your philosophy of coaching, how would Bob Berry describe it?
Well, I think you have to have a very sound system to start off with, things that the players know in situations defensively in your end, what's expected of them by where they're supposed to be and what their responsibilities are. And I think that I've always prided myself, and my teams have been in good shape. We've always been able to come out of the chute in good shape, and possibly the first month of the season gain some advantage by being in good shape. So I would say implanting a system, making sure everybody's in shape, and certainly discipline.
All right. Look at the coaches that you played under and tell me who you borrowed from the most, and if there's somebody that really stood out in your mind, tell us about him.
Well, I don't think there's any question that Bob Pulford had a great effect on me as a player, and so also an awful lot of other coaches that are in the league right now. I know at one time I think there was probably 7 or 8 Bob Pulford disciples in the league, starting with Butch Goring, Rogie Vachon, Mike Murphy in L.A., Barry Long, Danny Maloney. I think Bob Pulford came to our team in L.A., and we were really a sad sack organization at the time, and what he installed in us was the things basically that I've talked about. He gave us a system. He was a very disciplined coach. He worked us extremely hard in practice, and consequently, we turned out to be a pretty good team in the long run. So it's definitely Bob Pulford.
Bobby, this summer you had a chance to go to the 49ers camp. Of course, Mr. DeBartolo owns the 49ers, or his son does. Tell us about that experience with Bill Walsh and the 49ers and what you learned from that.
Well, I'm a great football fan, like I know you are, and I enjoy the games, but I don't think that I was anywhere near aware of the amount of work that the football players put in training camp. They start at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're on the field for 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours in the afternoon, and at night they have meetings again from 7 to 9:30, and then the next day it's the same thing for over the course of a week. So what I think I learned was the amount of preparation and hard work that was put in, not only by the players but certainly by the coaches.
I think a lot of people might be interested to know that you at one time almost played professional football.
Mike, that was such a long time ago. I mean, I'd like to forget that right now.
Baseball certainly is on your mind too. You like baseball?
Well, I enjoy all the sports. I think that I had the opportunity to play a little bit of football, and had an opportunity one year to go to I'd like to say Houston Astros, but in those days it was the Colt 45s. But I went to their spring training camp one year. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Bob, as far as this division now, the Penguins are in the Patrick division. The fans overwhelmingly wanted to stay in the division. It is tough. There's no question about it.
Well, I think we had such a great run at the playoffs last year, and it has been talked about so many times. In another division, we would have had enough points to be in the playoffs. But I've said this before: it's like the speed limit. The speed limit's 55, and if you go over it, you get a ticket. We knew the ground rules going in, and I think this year we have set a legitimate goal for ourselves to make the playoffs.
Encouraged by the start so far?
Very encouraged by the start, certainly. Yeah, we were. There was a couple of questionable times in the games against Washington, and the other night against the Rangers. But at this point, last season we were 0-2. This season we're 2-0, so it has to be encouraging.
All right, one final question. You spent a lot of time on the West Coast with your boys this summer.
We had a great time. The opportunity to go to a lot of baseball games, and we went fishing and camping and spent a week in Hawaii, so it was very, very nice.
Sure, and you came back 10, but you lost it all.
It doesn't take long. No.
All right, thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Bob Berry's been our special guest, and we'll be back with more here from the stadium in Chicago. This is the Penguins Hockey Network.
Third period. Calgary leads Buffalo 4-2. That is in the third period. Housley, Foligno scoring for Buffalo, and for Calgary, Quinn, Sheehy, Reinhart, and Kerry Wilson. And Edmonton and Winnipeg tied at 1 at the end of 1. It's Tikkanen and Dale Howardchuk, the goal scorers. Howardchuk, of course, with the Winnipeg Jets. And we will tell you again that the Penguins have the lead here on the road in Chicago. 1-0 at the end of period number 1. Actually, and the Chicago Blackhawks failed to score on 2 attempts that they had against the Penguins here this evening, and of course that in the first 20 minutes of action. We'd like to welcome everybody back on the radio side of our simulcast tonight. Happy to have you on board. Along with Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang. And the Penguins lead Chicago 1-0. The Hawks threaten, of course, in that first period. And the Penguins picking up the only goal. Ron Duguay dropping the puck back to Doug Bodger.
And Bodger took the shot. It was a rising slap shot over the shoulder of Murray Bannerman, and Bannerman moved his glove to make the save on the shot very late, because Duguay, after passing it off to Bodger, cut right into the slot and just went right in front of Murray Bannerman. Got in the way of his vision. He could not see the puck, and it went right over his shoulder into the net. Warren Young made a nice play, took a hit to make the play, dished it off to Duguay. Duguay cut into the slot. One of the Hawks went down to block that pass. It took him out of the play. Then Bodger wound up and cranked it up as Duguay cut in front of Bannerman, and it looked like the puck may have hit off one of the Hawks' sticks too on the way into the net to give it a little bit extra rise to it as it went up into the upper right-hand corner.
And it was Wayne Presley who went diving out. All right, with the score, Pittsburgh 1, Chicago 0. We'll be back with the second period. And that's coming up here from the stadium in Chicago in just a moment, right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Mercedes-Benz. Unequal design and exhilarating performance are what define today's Mercedes-Benz. A car for the enthusiast, like the sophisticated new 300 class. You'll find them at Wetzel Motor Works, a Mercedes-Benz dealership worthy of the car itself, devoted exclusively to the needs of the Mercedes-Benz owner. An unequaled automobile at an unequal dealership. Wetzel Motor Works is Mercedes-Benz in Pittsburgh, just minutes from downtown in Pittsburgh's South Hills.
I'm Tom Watson. When I'm not playing golf, I like to read about it. And for my money, there's nothing better than Golf Digest. Golf Digest covers every angle of the game thoroughly. And now, you can get Golf Digest. Here's how.
Call toll-free 800-453-2424 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77. 46% off the newsstand price, and you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour free. Call 800-453-2424 now.
For two courageous young women in the 1890s, a woman's place was in the classroom. In 1895, Stella and Margaret Stein pioneered a new frontier in becoming the first women accepted into the University of Pittsburgh. Today, their legacy lives on through the thousands of women graduating from Pitt each year. Pitt women are a major force in shaping Pennsylvania's future as they pioneer new frontiers for tomorrow.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so, Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
And we get ready for period number 2. The Penguins moving right to left here in the second period, leading the game 1-0. Troy Murray for the Hawks with Kurt Fraser and Bill Watson. Mario Lemieux with Terry Ruskowski and Billy Siren. Bob Hall having a discussion with Terry Ruskowski about something.
It's amazing when a guy wins a Selke Trophy as the best defensive forward in the National Hockey League and still scores 99 points, and that's what Troy Murray did last year. He also had 5 shorthanded goals. He's an outstanding performer, a +32 last season with Fraser and Olczyk on the wings.
We talked about the punishing body attack that the Hawks threw against the Penguins and whether it would The Penguins could weather the storm and wear them down. But on the other hand, can the Hawks sustain that type of hitting for an entire game? And that remains to be seen, too. And the puck played into the Chicago end and stopped by Murray Bannerman right from the face-off. Just lofted towards the net.
It's interesting to see so many of the Hawks coming up and challenging the Penguins in that neutral zone as they try to carry the puck up. At times you can get trapped up ice doing that. We saw Bergevin get trapped one time trying to hit one of the Penguins.
Now, Bob Hall, the referee, just told Bannerman, hey, don't hold that puck like you did. Next time I'm going to call a penalty on you. I know exactly where that conversation was going right there. This face-off in Chicago ice, and the Hawks come away with it. Bill Watson. Watson poking into the Penguin left wing corner. It'll bounce to the right of the net. And Randy Hillier swinging to the left of Romano. Outlet pass to Ruskowski. Romano very effective in the first period for the Penguins in goal. Here's Lemieux trying to cut into Ruskowski, and he pushed it wide of the net from the slot area. Lemieux knocked down. He gets back up, but the Hawks take command of the puck. And Kurt Frazier taps it ahead for Troy Murray into Penguin territory. Trying to back the defense in, but it's an offside call against Chicago as they came in.
Well, Mario Lemieux had the puck in the circle to the right of Murray Bannerman and wanted to take a shot, and Keith Brown jumped on his back, knocked him down, and Mario's still able to push the puck towards the net, but it went wide of the goal. Lemieux finding the loose puck and probably wondering why there wasn't a penalty called, and shaken up a little bit on the play. I'm sure that it didn't feel very good having Keith Brown jump on his back, knock him to the ice.
No, he's hurt. No question about that. He is in some pain. He's been bothered by some back problems here of late, and that didn't help the cause. Interesting, in the training room prior to the start of the game tonight, boy, it looked like Mr. Heat Pack walked in. 4 or 5 guys that all get outfitted with heat packs they put on the back to kind of relax the muscles. This game of hockey seems to come up with a lot of back injuries. Here's Busquets firing the puck in the right point. Rebound, and it's knocked wide by Bannerman. Hannon had a chance. A shot from the right point now by Busquets, and that missed. Bodger shoots it into the near corner, Chicago zone. Wilson around the boards for the Hawks to Secord. The Penguins missed a great chance there as Hannon looked to have goal number 2 for the Penguins. Or to center by Chicago, but Busquets now throws it back in. Now it's the Penguins starting to come on. Behind his own net. Dave Manson. Got it up to center. He gets the return pass. Manson cruising to the Penguins end. Going to come down deep. Presley fanned on the attempted shot in the right wing circle. And corralled by John Shabbat. Laid it ahead through traffic into Chicago territory. Bannerman steers it away from the net. And it'll come free to Al Secord. Gives it to Manson. Manson played with Prince Albert in the Western Hockey League Memorial team last year. Memorial Cup, I should say. And here's Bob Murray now working the Penguins in. Put it behind the goal. Manson defensively for the Penguins. Slanted up the sideboards. We might get an icing call here. Back to get it'll be Mark Bergevin. And we do. And with 17:44 to go here in period number 2, the scoreboard reads the Pittsburgh Penguins 1 and the Chicago Blackhawks 0.
This is Boys Town. Saturday night, the boys take on the New Jersey Devils, and it's Stroh's Mug Night. All fans 17 and over receive this handsome drinking mug, compliments of Stroh's. Come on down to Boys Town for a hockey night in Pittsburgh.
Now we come back to live action. The Hawks put the puck in around the Penguin net, and Roberto Romano able to glove it and hold on.
You're talking about players coming into the training room before the game. Last night's game was a physical game, but not in the sense that there were a lot of body checks being thrown out there, except a couple of times when there were some skirmishes around the net. But when the Penguins and Rangers hooked up last night, there was a lot of stick work, and it was probably more like a war by the time the game was over. There were a lot of stops in play, and it really wasn't a lot of flow to the game. And it was a difficult game to play for both teams. Tonight, more of a rhythmic type of a game, good body checking, particularly in the first period, and that's really the way hockey is supposed to be played.
What happened to John there? Got a black eye. Flamenco's got himself a black eye. Now he's barking at Steve Larmer. He's one of the no-nonsense linesmen in the National Hockey League. You don't argue with him too much. They don't. He's been known to tell some people, I'll meet you somewhere after the game if you'd like to discuss it further. Now we've got a penalty coming up here against the Penguins as Ed Olczyk was hauled down, and the Penguins will be shorthanded. And as the Hawks prepare their power play, we will see Dan Frawley go to the Randy Hillier go to the penalty box. Penguins 1, the Chicago Blackhawks 0. Right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Why is he so happy? He just bought a new car from Calusi Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevy dealer.
Boy, he's smart.
Okay, guys, I need to win now. Got it. 4!
No matter how you play the game, you'll still come out the winner at Calusi Chevrolet.
Randy Hillier gets the penalty. The Hawks are on the power play, and our apologies to you. They're not taking our breaks here tonight. They're going right on with the play. Here's left point. It comes to Nyland, and his slap shot was blocked. It comes behind the Penguin net. Eddie Olczyk. Olczyk centers, and it's just wide of the net as Troy Murray couldn't find the open cage. Now Bodger trying to clear. Olczyk sliding out right to John Shabbat, the Penguin penalty killer. And he'll bring it slowly to center ice on the near wing. Shabbat holds the play up and slips it in behind the Chicago goal. 1:18 to go on the penalty to Randy Hillier. And the Hawks keep Brown working the right point here in this power play. Around the horn it goes. Kurt Frazier cut in, put it behind the Penguin net. Troy Murray couldn't handle the pass. Brown will. Cunneyworth trying to check it out. Hannon and Cunneyworth now the penalty killers. Olczyk gave it right to Cunneyworth. Can he get it out? He does. He banks it off the sideboards and up ice. 48 seconds left in the penalty to Hillier. He went up for tripping at 2:32. Back come the Hawks. Off the right wing corner board. Savard lets it go. For Steve Larmer. Coming on is Bob Murray. He's able to keep it alive. Into the corner it goes. Now Jim Johnson's turned around by Larmer. Secord. Slipping out to the right point to Bob Murray. Left side to Doug Wilson. Will he shoot it? No. He goes to Murray. Center point. Left side to Savard. Savard, wheeling deal. Looking for Larmer again at that edge of the crease. Goes instead to Wilson. A shot. Deflected by Cunneyworth to put his body in front to make a nice play. Now Larmer with possession. Larmer to Bob Murray. Larmer again with the puck. Murray looks center point for Doug Wilson. The Penguins really effective in killing the penalty right now. 1 second to go. Here comes Hillier on. The shot to the net, and it's caught by Romano on Savard's quick wrist shot. And he holds on. Boy, the Penguins did a very good job of killing the penalty, and a tremendous effort by Randy Cunneyworth. Maybe unnoticed by a lot of people, but he gave his body up to block that shot by Doug Wilson. And I'll tell you, there aren't many guys who are going to go in front. And that shows that you want to win. I mean, desperately want to win. Here's Savard's shot.
Savard took a snapshot. You're expecting these guys to take these booming slap shots. Savard kind of sneaking a snapshot in. It was almost a slap shot, but not the full wind-up. And Romano got the glove out and made the save and hung on with Larmer parked just to the left of Romano, waiting for the rebound. Good glove save by Roberto Romano. He made one last night that'll go down in the record books. A great glove save on Shel Samuelson. He's got that quick glove hand.
Well, Larmer has bought that piece of real estate on either end of the rink whenever the Hawks are on the attack, and he owns it. That's where he hangs out. Troy Murray against Mario Lemieux. The Hawks are now 0 for 3 on the power play. Left point. It will come to Gary Nyland. Shooter to his deflector, comes in front, and defensively Bodger worked it away from the net. Lemieux trying to clean up his own end. And it comes out. Gary Nyland put the body into Ron Duguay. Bill Watson now. Again, tap it back into Penguin territory. Bodger playing some inspired hockey for the Penguins. Duguay turns, sails it up ice. It's a live puck. They'll have to play it. And Keith Brown for the Hawks. Penguins lead 1-0. Here's Brown with some room, and he's got a good rush going. Down the right side, Bodger takes him out of the play. Troy Murray follows on. His pass off the left wing boards comes to Gary Nyland. Look for Troy Murray. Winded in behind the Penguin net. Centered by Kurt Frazier. Nobody home, and back to center ice it goes. The Hawks again set up the attack. Looked like an offside play, and it was. Frazier was trapped inside the zone. Now the shots are 19-6. The Penguins are hanging tough defensively, and they're not giving the Hawks many chances on the rebound. They are not doing that. The defense has been clearing the puck away after the initial shots, and the shots again, to remind you, are a little deceiving. They're 19-6, but the Penguins have had some chances. Not too many in the second period, but a few in the first.
Phil Watson getting a drink of water on the Chicago bench, and Penguins really did a good job of killing the penalty, not only in the box in their own end, but also disrupting the Blackhawks coming out from their own zone.
This is Wayne Presley on the move for the Chicago Blackhawks. Put a quick shot on, now takes a run at Warren Young. And Mike Bullard gets possession of it around the right wing for Dan Frawley. Frawley turn it over to Mike Bullard with good speed. Bergevin trying to pull it around him. He's pulled down. There'll be a penalty coming up against Bergevin. Now he puts forward against the boards. Play goes on. The Penguins trying to pull Romano. The Hawks get possession, but the penalty will be issued here to Mark Bergevin. Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins here in Chicago with 14:07 to go in the second period lead the Hawks 1-0. And the power play coming up for the Penguins on the Penguins Hockey Network.
TCI Cable TV, another command performance. The comedy, laughter, we got what you're after. The sports and the news that give you the view. The movies, the dramas, you can watch in pajamas. The rockin' and rollin', the music is flowing. It's an easy decision. TCI Cable Television. Always a command performance for you.
Mike Bullard trying to dance Mark Bergevin, swung around him, and Bergevin got the arms out and just tackled him to the ice. And Bergevin goes off for holding at 5:53. After that, Bullard tried to get up. Bergevin just kind of smudged him into the boards, just smeared him right into the boards, and not realizing that the penalty had been called by Bob Hall. The Penguins on the power play again with a face-off to the left of Murray Bannerman.
So Bergevin is in. The Hawks win the face-off and clear it all the way to the Penguin net. Back to take possession will be Mo Manthey and Billy Searin, the two-point men. Lemieux out here with Bullard and Raskowski. Lemieux winds his way into the Hawks' end. On the right side, Raskowski drop it back to Lemieux. Trying to give it the corner to Mike Bullard. It went beyond his reach. And the Hawks, Doug Wilson. Good check by Raskowski, and he got the puck back. Now can he make a play? Comes to Lemieux off his glove. Lemieux in the near corner. Watch him dance now. Lemieux seems to have it going right now. Here's Mantha shooting the puck, and the stop made by Bannerman. Mario goes after it. Near corner. Digs it free. Ran a point pass intended for Mantha. Hopped over his blade. And the Penguins have to go back and get it again. Billy Searin takes his time. Up ahead on the left wing for Mo Mantha at center red. And the Penguin defenseman wristing the puck into the Hawk zone. Raskowski hit heavily by Gary Nyland. Bullard digs it off the boards, coming for the net. Put it in front of Lemieux right there. It's shot! And Bannerman made the save of the night for the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, great balls of fire. Bannerman stopping Lemieux from point-blank range. Is his best save.
Well, Mike Bullard was cutting in that right face-off circle, cutting towards the slot. He spotted Lemieux wide open on the left side to the right of Bannerman, and Lemieux tried to one-time the shot, but he just couldn't get the handle on the puck, and he almost just feathered it towards Murray Bannerman. Didn't get all the wood on it he wanted, and it allowed Bannerman to make the save. He came sprawling over to his right, stacked the pads, and made the save on Mario Lemieux. Beautiful pass by Bullard, but it was up in the air. Lemieux had to knock it down and then take the shot, and that was just enough time for Bannerman to get over and make an outstanding save on Mario Lemieux.
58 seconds remain on the penalty to Bergevin. Bannerman coming up top. That would have given the Penguins a 2-0 lead if Lemieux could have buried it. But the puck was bouncing as it got to stick, and he just couldn't quite settle it with the authority he wanted. Right point, it comes to Bodger in the Hawks' end. Long slap shot. Oh, he's firing the puck this year. And that just went wide. Now in the near corner, it's controlled by Ron Duguay. Going to Simpson. Simpson looking for room. He is bumped. Slided over to Duguay. Duguay looking to pass the puck. Young is on the right side. It goes to Simpson around the net. He is hit, knocked down. Out of the play he goes. Young behind the goal. Warren Young looks for Bodger. Now trying to step it in himself. He can't do it. Taking it around to the near corner for Craig Simpson. Back to Duguay. Duguay should shoot it. He goes instead to Bodger. Bodger waits now, wristing one, and it missed. Jim Johnson the left point. 18 to go on the penalty. Now to Simpson. He should have shot the puck right there. He slides it back to Johnson, however. Now back to Simpson. He's got the lane, but he doesn't fire. Goes to Bodger. Shoots. And the stop made by Bannerman. Bodies all over the ice. Cleared now to the right point. Kept in by Duguay. 5 to go on the penalty. Can the Hawks get it out? They do. Boy, Simpson had about 3 chances for open lanes where he probably should have shot the puck. You can get a lot of things off a rebound, and he was trying to make the perfect play, and I know they want to set it up, but when that opportunity presents itself, you've got to take it. Now Troy Murray clears for the Hawks. There'll be an icing call here. Hillier back. And it is icing against Chicago. Some good goaltending by Bannerman. And the the Hawks remain down by just one. 11:49 left here in period number 2. A look at the scoreboard here in Chicago shows the Penguins lead it 1-0 over the Chicago Blackhawks. And right here on the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Lou Pappan, and if you're hungry for good breakfast, come to Pappan's Family Restaurants and let us cook for you. You're gonna like it. You can have 2 eggs anywhere you like them, home fries, peel and cook freshly every morning, toast, butter, jelly, and all the Colombian coffee you can drink for only $1.89. So remember, I promise you, good food, good service, or your money back, and that's a promise.
Try Uncle Lou's breakfast special at a Pappan's near you.
We're back to live action. They play in the Chicago zone, and Bob Hall, boy, I like his style. Make him play. Don't let him make a face off. Here's Sear with a shot. A penalty coming up again here. It went up the skate of Murray Bannerman. Interference call coming up. And I think it's going to be against Bob Erie of the Penguins. Bob Erie is going to go off. Now Darryl Sutter talking to Bob Hall. Let's see. It is Bob Erie.
Penguins had the puck in the Blackhawks zone. They were trying to set it up, and apparently Erie got in the way of somebody in front of that Chicago net. And he goes off for interference. Billy Searin had taken a shot from the point, a nice soft wrist shot, and Bannerman was just able to get his pads out and make a save on that shot. The Penguins got the rebound off the boards, and Erie apparently had interfered with somebody in front of the net as the Penguins tried to set it up. Bob Erie has played well in the first couple of games for the Penguins this year on the left wing.
So it's Chicago's turn, their 4th opportunity on the power play. And we go back to action in the Chicago zone. From the face-off, Bob Murray brings it up. He'll shoot it away to the Penguin zone. It comes off the near corner to Steve Larmer. Larmer of the Hawks. Right point to Bob Murray. Back to Larmer. Dangerous power play the Hawks had. You can't give them too many opportunities. Secord around and trying to turn and stuff it in, and Romano, I think, got a piece of it off his goaltender's stick. Left point to Bob Murray. Hold forward with a steal. Now Shabbat trying to get up. Big at Dave Hannon. It comes to Shabbat. Long shot. Oh, a good one, but Bannerman made a stick save on him. Shabbat really cranked it up from long range. Larmer handles the mail. He'll go out the right wing to Dennis Savard. Savard to Bob Murray. Murray shoots it up into the Penguin zone, and Mantha tried to clear, couldn't. Doug Wilson cutting for the net. Got Murray down the slide. A shot. Hard save made. A blocking glove. Stopped by Roberto Romano. Willie Listrom with good speed. 1-on-2. Going to come into the Chicago zone. Savard to beat. Takes it down deep and takes a check from Wilson, but got the puck in to kill some valuable time. Secord stumbles. 55 to go on the Bob Erie penalty. Penguins are shorthanded. They lead 1-0 here in Chicago. And Doug Bodger turns and steals and clears the puck.
Penguins frustrating the Hawks on this power play as they have all night long. And the Hawks with this great power play, but the Penguins are just neutralizing it so far tonight.
Bodger skating with the puck. That's Savard's big thing. If he can get you to back in, and then he works with it. But the Penguins are stopping Chicago right at the blue line. Now Nyland, he can't get it going. Hannon got a piece of it. Keith Brown trying to step his way in. Now dumps it in. After the puck will be Bodger. Running around the horn, and out it comes, and that takes the heat out of a hot kitchen, and in 4 seconds, the oven will be empty. And there it is. Bob Erie is on. Back come the Hawks. They're stopped again. Penguins starting to gain some momentum right now. Troy Murray gave it away. Ruskowski had it. Trying to go to Shabbat. He fanned on it. He's got to be tired. He was killing the penalty. Wants to get off here. Up in the air, Ruskowski knocks it down. Shabbat trying to get to the bench so Lemieux can get on. And it's turned over to Jim Johnson. Now to Duguay. 2-line pass call. Well, we have 9:07 left here in the second period. And the Penguins still leading Chicago 1-0.
Jimmy Johnson made a nice play last night against the Rangers, charging down the slot to set up a goal, showing the confidence that he has. Just a moment ago, making a nice little pass, a head-manning pass up to center ice after Ruskowski had given him the puck. Johnson, a very heady hockey player and an outstanding young defenseman for the Penguins. He was the Penguins Rookie of the Year last year out of the University of Minnesota Duluth.
Bob Murray from the draw. Got it for the Hawks defensively. Blasted up into the Penguin zone along the far boards. Ron Duguay over to Lemieux, who just turns and Sends it deep into the Chicago end. Interestingly, Barry talked about Bob Pulford and all he learned from him. Boy, this is the type of game you'd expect from these two guys. Center with a blast. The stop is made by Romano from just inside the blue line as Darryl Sutter let it go. This is just good old-fashioned hockey right here, the way Bob Pulford and Bob Barry love to see it. You've got a 1-0 game and you're halfway home in it already.
And you could really sense today, Mike, that Bob Barry wanted to come in here and he wanted his team to put on a good show for the guy that he does respect so much, Bob Pulford. We said that he had his game face on, and I don't think he was particularly thrilled with the Penguins' performance last night, despite the fact that they were able to come back and win. He was happy with the win, but not necessarily how they came up with it. Bob Pulford, one thing you don't have to worry about him is getting gray. He's already as gray as you can get. Something that coaching will do to you in the NHL. That's the distinguished look.
Well, they both have something in common. They bum more cigarettes from people than anybody on earth. Both of them. If they find somebody with an extra one or just a pack, it's one less you're going to have. And here's Bob Murray. Backhanding it towards the Penguin net. It's taken by Lemieux. Full head of steam. Going to Ruskowski. Back to Lemieux. Cutting in. Good pass to Duguay. Oh, he missed the goal. Oh, Lemieux set him up brilliantly, but he missed the net. Now Siren over to Lemieux. Lemieux, the last couple of shifts, has really come on. Mario dancing with it, trying to get around the checks of Ed Olczyk. They'll battle one another, but here comes Presley coming for the Hawks. Presley offside at the Penguin line. Now Olczyk and Lemieux start to push and shove. And they all join the parade. Here they all come. The Olczyk and Mario Lemieux. Now Duguay and Presley. And this one's close to getting kind of hot and heavy. It's been some heavy hitting all night long with these two teams. And Lemieux is right in the center of the parade. Ruskowski trying to get at somebody. Bob Murray's got a hold of him. Of course, they're former teammates.
There's some tough customers on the ice right now for both clubs. You've got Terry Ruskowski. He's got that look in his eye. Lemieux had given a shot to Eddie Olczyk as they came towards the boards, and then everybody just came piling in along the boards in that Pittsburgh zone. I don't see Mario starting things very often, but he was upset with something that Olczyk had done.
All right, with 8:17 to go here in the second period. Lemieux will go off, so will Ed Olczyk. The Penguins have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks on a Doug Bodger goal. And this is the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
Bronlick Wesley, one of Pittsburgh's oldest and largest electrical repair and new equipment suppliers, introduces an exclusive 4-year guarantee on electric motor repairs and a 2-year guarantee on new electric motors. 71 years of experience and technical expertise, backed by registered professional engineers, enables Bronlick Wesley to build quality into all their electrical repair work, from the smallest motors around the home to the largest industrial types. 24-hour service and free pickup and delivery make Bronlick Wesley the only one to call for electric motor sales, service, and repairs.
Right before the problems down on the Penguins' end of the rink, Mario Lemieux had made a beautiful pass to Ron Duguay across into the slot. Duguay was cutting down. He was open. He had the extra step, and Lemieux put the puck right on his stick, and he shot it wide of the net. Just didn't get all the puck he wanted, and he shot it wide. Murray Bannerman coming out to challenge it. See the announcements on the penalties.
2 minutes, high sticking. Blackhawk penalty, Olczyk, 2 minutes, high sticking.
Well, Lemieux is going to get a double minor. Lemieux will get a double minor. Olczyk will get a minor for high sticking. I'm not sure what the call is. We don't have them up on the board as to what the calls were, but nonetheless, Lemieux receives 4 minutes of penalty time, and the Hawks will get a power play out of this situation. Now, somebody will have to come and serve the penalty, and it'll be Craig Simpson, the one that'll make the Penguins shorthanded.
It's interesting. You never want to see Mario Lemieux in the penalty box because you don't want your best player to be off the ice. In the case of the Blackhawks, they've lost a pretty good performer too in Ed Olczyk, and those two guys were right up there in the draft the year Mario Lemieux was taken. Olczyk was taken 3rd overall in '84, and there was even some talk of way before the Penguins made that choice as to whether or not Ed Olczyk might be the right guy to take. 6'2", 195, a hometown boy here in Chicago. They like him.
All right, the Hawks are on a power play. They trail 1-0, and they're 0 for 4 tonight with a man advantage. Al Secord working the near corner. Penguin penalty killing has been outstanding, and some good goaltending by Romano. Larmer to the right point to Bob Murray. Center point to Doug Wilson. Let's see if they try and bury it. They go Larmer now to Savard. He tried to set it up, couldn't do it. Larmer will go back around that crease. Here's Bob Murray going to the left wing to Dennis Savard in the Penguin zone. Shoot it towards the net. Romano got a piece of it. It's cleared, but not out. Savard again with 1:25 to go in the Pittsburgh penalty to Lemieux. Savard to the left point to Bob Murray. Back to Savard. Center point to Bob Murray. They're not shooting the puck. Here's Wilson firing. The save is made. The rebound. Shot by Larmer. A great save by Romano. Right in front of Larmer. And the rebound cleared to the near side, but not out. Wilson shooting, and that's deflected by Bob Erie, and it hops into the crowd. Oh, some brilliant goaltending by Romano.
That was a great pad save that he made with his left pad on Steve Larmer. The rebound was loose in front of the net after the hard shot by Doug Wilson. Romano was on his knees. You wonder how he could even get the leg out as quickly as he did. Larmer had the puck in front. He was all by himself, and Romano just popped that left pad out there and kicked it out.
I'll tell you what's even more important. Right where you see him there on the TV side, he got back up in such a hurry that he was able to be right back in the play. That is one instance where the size of Romano helped him, because he's so short he can scramble very quickly to get up. And he did, and he got back in position. He's played a strong game tonight for the Penguins.
He's about as sharp as we've seen him.
Troy Murray in against Mike Bullard in the slot area of the Penguin zone. That's where the faceoff will be. That's where the shot was taken by the Hawks off a Penguin stick. Bullard is decked to the ice. Here's Keith Brown. Brown moving in. Brown centering. And the pass was too hard. He just simply fired that pass across too hard. Too much mustard on it.
I think he was indecisive there, Mike. He wanted to maybe take the shot, and then he decided to pass it. He had too much mustard on it.
Troy Murray along the near boards. Lost it to Mike Bullard. Now look out here. 2-on-2. The Penguins come short-handed. Bullard on the right side to Cunneyworth. His off wing. 9 on the beat. He's got a half a step on it. Goes in. Oh, and he crunches him with a solid check against the boards. Nyland really hammered Cunneyworth, but Cunneyworth is right back up. Now Siren takes the puck. Siren turns and clears it out. Delayed offside against Chicago. Well, Nyland has really been dishing them out like it's the first of the month with the checks. But Cunneyworth, to his credit, got right back up in the play and said, let's keep going. Look at this check here.
Cunneyworth trying to lean as he went around that net and try to get that body lean going as he went around the net to try to lean into Nyland, and Nyland is just so big and strong that he just grabbed his shoulder and fired him into the boards. A vicious check by Gary Nyland. He is so big, 6'3", about 210 pounds. He's huge. And Randy Cunneyworth can take a licking and just come right back for more. He is really tough.
Now Billy Siren, and you got to be. That wood doesn't move, I can guarantee you that.
What do you mean? Especially here in Chicago. It looks like a brick wall.
Dave Manson controlling the puck. The Penguins lead 1-0 here in the second period at Chicago. The only goal in the first period by Doug Bodger. Hawks on a power play. 10 seconds to go, and they're guilty of another offside play. And it appears as though the Hawks will be 0 for 5 on the power play. In fact, they're going to even bring it back into Chicago territory. It'll be a 2-line pass call.
Wanted to say earlier, you just can't keep opening the door for the Hawks with the great power play that they have and expect to kill it all night long, and yet the Penguins continue to do it with 11 seconds remaining on the penalty to Mario Lemieux.
Now Simpson will be the man that comes on for the Penguins along with Ed Olczyk, because Lemieux has another 2 minutes to serve. There's a look at the scoreboard on the TV side of our simulcast tonight with the Penguins leading 1-0.
Gary Nyland was the second player taken overall. He is 22 years old. This is his 5th season in the NHL. He's had an undistinguished career so far as a Toronto Maple Leaf, but they're looking for big things from him in Chicago, and if he keeps playing like this, he's going to make some noise.
Here's Savard. He's got the motor going now. Savard really hasn't had a skating exhibition as of yet in this game where he really has turned it on. Tried to there, and he lost the balance, and down he went. Dave Manson relays it ahead for Steve Larmer. Larmer moving in. I'm just going to tell you right now, the next goal in this game is going to be the big one. No question about it. Whoever gets it. Here's Bullard back 2-on-1 with Young. Bullard on the left side. Bullard moving in. Got a play. Backhander. Oh, what a save by Bannerman. He just got the right skate down. I think they get a piece of that shot by the bullet. Off the left point. Johnson going for it. The Hawks come back. Larmer knocked down by Johnson. There'll be a penalty called against the Penguins again. A holding call. And Chicago again will go on the attack. It's still the Penguins 1, Chicago nothing here. In Chicago, they call it the Windy City. Boy, they've been going crazy here. The wind is a-blowing on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so... Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
Now Power play chance again for the Chicago Blackhawks. And here they come. Keith Brown. He'll drive it into the Penguins' end from the near boards. Around it goes to the left wing side. Chabot turns and clears it away. Bob Erie's after with good speed. He has Brown to beat. Can he make the play? Cutting for the net. Comes in with a backhander, and Bannerman got a piece of it. Oh, a good play by Bob Erie. He got the shot off, too. That's a sign of a major league move there. Now Frazier. Roll it around. Back into the Penguins' end. Troy Murray. Avoid Chabot. Now Siren trying to get a hand on it. Romano knocks it out. Good play by Romano to get out and get a piece of it. And cleared by Chabot. Penguins doing a lot of little things right in this game. Very, very subtle, but a lot of little things that they're doing. That are outstanding. Here comes the attack by Gary Nyland in his own blue line. He gave it away this time to Rod Busquets, and the Penguin defenseman snaps it back into Chicago real estate. 58 seconds to go, and the Hawks looking for the answering goal. Savard. Here he comes. Down the right side, Penguins in. Fake a shot, bringing it deep. Bodger had gone down. Now he gets back up. Savard behind the net. Secourt's planted in front. He moves away from that spot. Now he's got it. Secourt couldn't handle the pass. Busquets hit by Secourt. Randy Cunneyworth in the corner digging for it. Can Busquets get there? It's a big battle going on now. Secourt with great strength. They kick it free. And Savard ran into the referee, Bob Hall. Around to the right point it comes. Bob Murray of the Hawks. 22 to go on the penalty to Larmer. Larmer looks for Secourt. Here he comes. Turns and shoots it. Romano says, no, it's not good. What a shot by Secourt. And we're tied at
1. Al Secourt had another whack at it. That was the difference. He had a second shot at it. That's the first time tonight that we've seen somebody with a really good chance to get a second crack at Romano. He had made the first save, and Secourt was untouched as he cut in front of that Penguin goal. Doug Bodger was out of position. He chased Secourt, but he just couldn't get to him. Busquets was down on his knees. Secourt had more time than he really should have had to get that second shot away, and he got it up over Romano, who had gone down to make the save on the first shot.
So the Hawks score a power play goal, finally.
And we were saying that you give them that many chances and they're bound to score eventually.
Game tied at 1. Savard will probably get an assist on the goal. And Keith Brown with possession now as we go back to play. So the Hawks finally do get on the board. Here's Lemieux cutting back for the Penguins. Chicago in, moving in towards the net. Lemieux is there. He shoots. He scores! Mario Lemieux, and the Penguins answer right back. Thank you. I'll buy Sam a drink and get his dog 1-2. Lemieux coming right back to make it 2-1.
Well, Lemieux came down the left side. He was on the off wing, really, for him. He's a right-handed shooter. He was coming down the left side, cutting at an angle towards the goal. He had Ron Duguay cutting to the net. He cut into the slot a little bit further and then took that low wrist shot along the ice to beat Bannerman. And he went around Watson to get into the slot and then just threw it in the lower left-hand side as Bannerman came sprawling out to his left. Lemieux using Duguay as a decoy coming down that right side.
So Lemieux catches him with his third goal of the year. And the Penguins regain the lead 2-1. Back it comes into the Hawks near corner. Raskowski after it. Raskowski looking to make the play. The great ones seem to have the ability to do that. Get you a goal right back when you need it. And Lemieux certainly is in that category. And it is a good sign for this Penguin club because I can't begin to tell you how many times over the last 10 to 12 years. Here's Lemieux again, cutting back into the Hawks end. He tried to make a move, put it in front, and Duguay's too well covered by Darryl Sutter. Now back come the Hawks. Olczyk cruising back. You remember Lemieux served 4 minutes of penalty time and came right out and scored a goal for the Penguins. So he took it upon himself to get the Penguins back with the lead. Bergevin left point, Penguins in. A long shot. That stop to the right of the Penguin goal. They jam it up, and it's worked free in Mike Bullard. Near side for Raskowski went beyond his reach, and back it goes into Chicago ice. I was about to tell you, I can't begin to tell you how many times that happened to the Penguins just the opposite way, where they would tie a game in a crucial moment, and the other team would come right back and score. Drop pass by Presley as he moves into Penguin ice. Not a good one. Mike Bullard with the puck. 2:23 to go in the second period. Off to Bodger. Long blast. And Bannerman had a bit of a problem with it, but he made the stick save. Murray shot it off Dan Frawley's leg. Now still loose behind the net. The Penguins really working hard right now. Frawley in the corner. And the Pens force a mistake to keep it in. A shot by Busquets, and that was stopped. Bergevin moved it away up the left wing. It'll be taken by Darryl Sutter. Sutter with 2 minutes to go in the period. Sutter trying to center the puck. Can't make that happen. Mike Bullard again with the puck for the Penguins. Pass coming up Brawley skates, comes right back to the Bullet. He comes down, that heavy shot, and Bannerman got it with a glove, and he holds it for the faceoff. 1:42 left here in period number 2. And the Penguins, on goals tonight by Doug Bodger and Mario Lemieux, have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. Secord has scored the only Chicago goal. And you're watching and listening to tonight's game on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sorry, honey, we're all sold out.
Don't let that happen to you. Buy a Penguin ticket plan. The partial plan is good for 25 games or more, a guaranteed seat location, and additional free tickets. The mini plan allows you to pick your favorite 15 games or more. With these plans, you get first crack at tickets for all home games and playoff games before the general public. Flex 10 coupon books are available too. Call the Pens now at 642-2067. Operators on duty, that's 642-2067.
Well, the Bullet cranking up with a heavy slap shot from the left side. Really drilled one on Bannerman. That one might have hit a stick on the way in, too. But Bannerman able to get the glove on it and make the save against the Penguins captain. And Bullard can fire the puck as hard as anybody. And he really ripped one hard on the Chicago netminder. We have 1:42 to go in the period. And the faceoff will be to the right of Murray Bannerman, Chicago goaltender. Shabbat won the draw to Billy Searin. A skate save just kicked out of the last second by Bannerman. Into the near corner the puck goes. And Steve Lutzig returns it over to Doug Wilson. Wilson moving up. Pass to center. Everett Santapass will take his first shift of the night for the Chicago Blackhawks. The rookie just making this club out of junior in his first year, just 18 years old. Billy Searin flipping it behind the net. Out of Verdun in the Quebec Junior League. And Santapass. Now Doug Wilson relays it on the near wing, going to Rich Preston. Preston moves up. Santapass on the left wing, working on this line, and Lutzig at center. The Penguins systematically move it to center. Lindstrom going to Bob Erie. Trying to turn around Manson, the young rookie defenseman coming down. He's pulled down. Play goes on. And Erie falls on top of the puck. And we will get a face-off in Chicago ice to the right of Bannerman. Well, Manson, the young defenseman out of Prince Albert. Erie almost able to beat him on the play, but just got enough of him to pull him down to the ice. There you see the stick underneath the stick went underneath Erie as he went down and fell on top of the loose puck. Penguins have the lead 2-1. And the Penguins at home on Tuesday night against the Los Angeles Kings. We'll hope you make plans to be with us in person for that one. And then on Saturday night against New Jersey. Between those two games, we'll go to Buffalo and play the Sabre. Now here are the Penguins again, tapping the puck into Chicago ice. Gary Nyland, the 6'4" defenseman for the Hawks, slanted over to Keith Brown, his defense partner. Brown hearing the boos of the crowd here in Chicago. It comes to Secord, who has the only Chicago goal. Secord looking back for Savard, but it's just checked away. And Ruskowski up the right wing for Ron Duguay. Duguay around the boards to the left side. Ruskowski tried to pinch in and stop it. He couldn't, and the Hawks counterattack. Lemieux trying to check Savard. Can't catch him. Savard dancing now, backing up, moving the puck around the net, and cleared by Mo Mantha. Away from the goal. And chasing for the puck at center ice will be Steve Larmer and Mario Lemieux. Lemieux had a stick held, knocked away by Larmer. 12 seconds to go. Lemieux looks to see where the puck is. It's in Chicago ice, and he goes to the bench. 4 seconds left. And flipped by the Hawks. That'll do it for the period. As the siren sounds here in Chicago. So the Penguins, who had a 1-0 lead at the end of one, watch the Hawks come back and tie it on a goal by Al Secord at 16:02 of this period. But then Mario Lemieux at 16:20 got the goal right back for the Penguins. And they have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1 at the end of 2. Shots in the period, the Penguins finished with 13 and Chicago had 11. So at the end of 2 full here at the stadium, Pittsburgh Penguins have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Mercedes-Benz, unequal design and exhilarating performance are what define.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is being brought to you by Roy Rogers, now with new locations at Forbes Avenue, downtown, East Ohio Street, and Washington Pike and Carnegie. Oh, what a taste. And by the Network Video Store in your neighborhood. Well, we welcome you back to the stadium in Chicago, where the Pittsburgh Penguins have a 2-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks through 2 periods. The goal scoring tonight for the Penguins, Doug Bodger with his second of the year on a power play goal in the first period. The Hawks coming back to tie the game in the second period on a brilliant goal by Al Secord. Got his own rebound back and put it in. That came at 16:02. But the go-ahead goal by the Penguins once again by Mario Lemieux took it upon himself at 16:20, just 18 seconds after Secord had cashed in. Lemieux came back with his third of the campaign, and the Penguins have the lead by 1 through 40 minutes of hockey. The shots on goal in the period, the Penguins had 13, the Hawks had 11. The 2 period totals now Chicago with 26 and the Penguins with 17. Quick reminder to you, the Penguins at home on Tuesday against the Los Angeles Kings, and then again on Saturday night against the New Jersey Devils. We hope to see you in person. Paul Steigerwald standing by with left winger Randy Cunnyworth, and let's join them downstairs right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike, and we do have the man, Randy Cunnyworth. And Randy, it's good to see that you're still alive after the hit by Gary Nyland. You just bounced right back up off of that, but it was a tough check, and I guess you just got to be ready for that with a guy like him out there.
Yes, definitely. Bull gave me the puck breaking down the right wing, and I thought I had a step on him, but obviously not.
You tried to lean into him, which I thought was something that was typical Randy Cunnyworth. When you get around the boards, you like to lean in, get that body lean going, and it looked like he just grabbed your shoulder. You kind of gave him the shoulder, and he took it and threw you.
Well, as I said, I thought I had a step on him, so I started to lean into him, trying to drive for the net, but he's got a few pounds on me, and fortunately I bounced up and got back into the play.
Randy, it's just been an incredible hockey game to watch. I'm sure the viewers at home feel the same way. Just a great game, and it must be great for you guys to compete in a game like this. It seems like the crowd just gets everybody going right from the opening bell here in Chicago.
Definitely. This is a loud building, and we like to think that we could use their crowd to our advantage. The noise gets you going, and just the enthusiasm of the crowd should help visiting team.
Randy, the penalty killing has been incredible here for the Penguins throughout the course of this hockey game. I know you've made some changes in the way you attack the other team's power play. It seems to have confused the Blackhawks. Explain, if you can, what some of those changes are.
Well, basically, we are trying to save our energy in their end of the rink. What we're doing now is a two-man right behind each other, standing up. When the first play is made from the defenseman to the wing, we get one guy busting up. The forward guy is the first man, is busting up and trying to take him, forcing him to make a sloppy pass. Then the second man is ready to jump on that sloppy pass.
You used to kind of send guys in a whirling fashion. That was the Jimmy Roberts old style of penalty killing, and I guess a very effective way of doing it, but you may run out of gas too by the time you get up to the other end of the rink.
Well, that was the reason for changing it. We still may go back to it, once we get our conditioning right up there. It can be an effective form of killing penalties if you've got good movement and if you don't expend too much energy.
Well, you've certainly done a great job in that category. That's one of those things that's kind of an unsung quality, and of course you were the unsung hero last year for the Penguins, Randy. You were the hero on opening night with a hat trick, your first career hat trick. It must have felt pretty good.
Very good. Anytime you score three goals in one game, it's the greatest experience, especially at the National Hockey League level. And opening night, it was extra special for me, and again, it was my first, so that felt good.
I think the fans are now beginning to find out what you're all about, Randy, and I'm sure that you've known for a while that you were a quality hockey player, but you had to toil for the Rochester Americans for many years. Was that a good experience for you, do you think, being down there, having won the Calder Cup and so on?
Definitely. We won a lot of games there. It's a great organization in Rochester. In some respects, it hardens you for this NHL. The American League is a fantastic league. It's a fantastic minor leagues, and I think everyone could benefit from playing down there.
I was looking at your statistics in junior hockey. You once had 54 goals, so it's not like you're not a goal scorer. And in that last year you played, I guess you played against Mike Bullard, didn't you? Because you guys competed in the same league.
Yes, we did. Mike played for Brantford way back then, and he was obviously a star on that team, as he is with us, and it's a great honor to play with him.
Finally, what do you think you're doing now in the NHL that maybe you weren't doing your early years? You broke into pro that now has you in the National Hockey League.
Well, I think I've developed an all-around aspects of my game. I'm checking defensively as well as adding to the offense. So I think I've put a lot more stress on my defensive game at this point. In junior, you could get by getting goals and not really worrying about your own end, but down here or up here, it's a different story. You've got to play a full game.
And you've turned that defense into some outstanding penalty killing and great checking, Randy, and you've been a real asset to the Penguins here in the first couple of years, and we look forward to continue watching him perform and go get him in the third period.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Randy Cunningworth, the unsung hero of the Penguins, who's suddenly becoming a sung hero, if you will. We'll return to Chicago Stadium in just a moment. The Penguins leading the Blackhawks 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so, Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
Race fans, hot rodders, it's the U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Fall Nationals. 2 big nights of earth-shaking action. Friday, October 31st and Saturday, November 1st, blasting out of the Pittsburgh Civic Arena gate at 8 p.m. both nights, featuring Super Chevy USA 1, plus the all-new supercharged sport truck class, and the Flip-Top Funny Cars Shootout with Tom the Mongoose McEwen taking on Magnum Force. Tickets now, Pittsburgh Civic Arena, Kaufman's, Horns, Henley Ticket Outlets. Join the fun Friday, October 31st and Saturday, November 1st. It's an all-out war on wheels.
And we welcome you back to Chicago Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Penguins have a 2-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks through 2 periods. Goal scoring tonight by the Pens, Doug Bodger and Mario Lemieux, and for Chicago, Al Secord. Well, I'm not sure if this young man's name was Mark or not, but somebody came by from Baldwin. Say hello to Mark and Eric Gallus, and also Mike Lehrer, I believe it is. So if we don't have the names correct, our apologies, but we wanted to say hello to Penguin fans. Well, it was 19 years ago yesterday that the Pittsburgh Penguins first took to the ice in an NHL game, and their opponent, the powerful Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens won the game 2-1. A little bit of Penguin history. We hope to be able to bring you more of that during the course of the season here on the Penguin Television Network. And here from Chicago with the Penguins on top 2-1. We'll have more for you in just a moment. All coming up right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I'm Tom Watson. When I'm not playing golf, I like to read about it. And for my money, there's nothing better than Golf Digest. Golf Digest covers every angle of the game thoroughly. And now, you can get Golf Digest. Here's how.
Call toll-free 800-453-2424 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price, and you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour free. Call 800-453-2424 now.
They came to America, yearning to breathe free. Waves of immigrants settled in Pittsburgh, building our great industries as men of steel and coal. These ancestors brought with them the history and pride of their homelands. The University of Pittsburgh salutes this rich ethnic heritage through the celebrated nationality rooms housed in Pitt's Cathedral of Learning. The University of Pittsburgh, celebrating 200 years of pioneering the future.
This year, Orlando, Florida is rated the #1 family and individual vacation place in the entire USA. You and your family and friends can be there for only $279 per person. This great low price of $279 includes your round-trip airfare via US Air from Pittsburgh to Orlando, 7 nights hotel stay, round-trip transfers, baggage, and much, much more. Children under 16 of age are only $159 complete for the entire week stay in Orlando. Walt Disney World, Epcot Center, and the New Living Seas are for people of all ages. Weekly Saturday departures are available from now until December. Please call your local travel agent or Royal Travel at 261-0873 to receive a free brochure on this great Orlando, Florida vacation. Space has been selling fast to Orlando, so please call today to avoid any disappointment at 261-0873 or your local travel agent.
like to welcome those of you on the radio side of our simulcast here tonight. Back with us here at the stadium in Chicago, where the Penguins lead Chicago 2-1 on the US Air scoreboard. And these are the scores coming in. Two finals in tonight. Boston beat Hartford tonight 7-2. Calgary taking care of Buffalo in Buffalo 4-2. Well, the Flames open up with a long road trip. And Edmonton leads Winnipeg 3-2. That's in the second period at the Winnipeg Arena. Talk about a long road trip. Edmonton opens up in Philly. Montreal. Played Montreal last night and then over to Winnipeg today. Well, that's some traveling, I'll tell you. But they're there and they've got the lead.
Remember Wayne Gretzky said last year, the teams in the East don't travel.
He's right.
And meaning that in comparison to the teams out west, and of course he doesn't like to fly, so it's that much worse for him.
We'll be back to Chicago Stadium in a moment as third period action will be coming up shortly. Penguins still have the lead here against the Hawks 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sorry, honey, we're all sold out.
Don't let that happen to you. Buy a Penguin ticket plan. The partial plan is good for 25 games or more, a guaranteed seat location, and additional free tickets. The mini plan allows you to pick your favorite 15 games or more. With these plans, you get first crack at tickets for all home games and playoff games before the general public. Flex 10 coupon books are available too. Call the Pens now at 642-2067. Operators on duty, that's 642-2067.
When the gods want to banish you, they answer your prayers.
A woman who wouldn't be owned.
Why is your freedom more important than mine?
It isn't.
A man who couldn't be tamed.
When did you learn to fly?
Yesterday.
A world of beauty and danger that would take them to the limits. Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, in a Sidney Pollack film, Out of Africa, rated PG.
Hi, I'm Lou Pappan, and if you're hungry for good breakfast, come to Pappan's Family Restaurants and let us cook for you. You're gonna like it. You can have 2 eggs anywhere you like them, home fries, peel and cook freshly every morning, toast, butter, jelly, and all the Colombian coffee you can drink for only $1.89. So remember, I promise you, good food, good service, or your money back, and that's a promise.
Try Uncle Lou's breakfast special at a Pappan's near you.
Why is he so happy? He just bought a new car from Calusi Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevy dealer.
Boy, he's smart.
Okay, guys, I need to win now. Got it. 4!
No matter how you play the game, you'll still come out the winner at Calusi Chevrolet.
Oh.
Penguins with the lead 2-1, and the Hawks come in to score a goal in the second period.
Al Secord had a good chance on the power play to cut in front of the net. Doug Bodger had been out of position a little bit. Secord coming in, taking the first shot and getting a crack at his own rebound and shooting it up over Roberto Romano on the short side. Romano had gone down to make the save on the first shot. It just flipped over his shoulder into the net. That made it 1-1, and then the Penguins came back on a goal by Lemieux to make it 2-1.
And we're into live action here in the third period as the puck is turned away to the Hawks end. Penguins moving left to right here with the lead 2-1. Keith Brown moving to the right of goaltender Murray Bannerman. Slides it over to Gary Nyland. Nyland looks for Troy Murray. This is the only trip of the year for the Penguins into Chicago. The Hawks will come to Pittsburgh twice this season. You get an opportunity to see Denny Savard and his crew. Here is Lemieux in the right wing going to Duguay. Has some room. His slap shot. Oh, a good save there by Bannerman. The rebound. Lemieux rolls it, trickles it towards the net. Bannerman steers it wide of the cage. And Troy Murray. It's a good save. Now Lemieux trying to pull it down. He's pulled down. There'll be a penalty against Keith Brown as Lemieux is hauled down. Lemieux knocked down to the ice. I think he hit his head solidly on the ice. I do on that play.
Now Keith Brown took Lemieux into the boards hard after Mario had tried to get a crack at Ron Duguay's rebound. And then this time tackling Lemieux as Mario tried to get the puck after the Blackhawks failed to clear their zone. So Keith Brown taking some liberties there really on Mario Lemieux in the Chicago zone, and now he'll pay the price and take a seat in the penalty box.
Holding call against Keith Brown. Here was Lemieux earlier in the game when he put the Penguins ahead 2-1.
Mario had come down that left side and he just cut right into the slot, maintained control of the puck. He had Duguay coming down the right side, used him as a decoy. Bannerman went sprawling to his left, thinking maybe Duguay was going to get the puck, but Mario shot it back the other way, lower left-hand side, to make it 2-1.
Power play chance number 5 for the Penguins. They are 1 for 4 tonight. And Simpson out here with Warren Young and Mike Bullard. Point men will be Doug Bodger and Jim Johnson.
Lemieux had a little mouse around the eye after Keith Brown dumped him to the ice. Thomas, the trainer of the Penguins, over to have a look at him, but he's all right.
Hawks from the face-off win it, and they'll clear it up ice. Just into the first minute of play here in the third period. Jim Johnson will rush it back for the Penguins. Penalty killers are Rick Preston and Steve Lutzik for the Hawks. And Bob Murray and Doug Wilson on the backside. Bob Murray, challenged by Bodger, bouncing off the boards very hard, and back to center it goes. Preston trying to draw a penalty there by losing the balance and going off his skates. Preston, though, chases it down, and he finds an open man in Bob Murray back in Chicago territory. Young and Preston whacking each other pretty good with the sticks. Bodger comes into Chicago ice, and he couldn't get it back to Bullard. Comes all the way to the Penguin net. 1:10 to go in the penalty to Keith Brown. Jim Johnson winds his way back to the Chicago zone. Warren Young puts it behind the goal. Doug Wilson snapping off the boards. And out it comes. Here's Billy Zinn knocking down. Olchek picks the puck up, walks in and goal. And Romano went to reach out with a stick and knock it off his blade before he could shoot it. It comes back to center. Oh, great chance there. Breaking it alone was Ed Olchek, and Romano just challenged him and knocked the puck right off his stick. And a big play there by Romano, who has been super sharp here tonight for the Penguins. Mantha carries the mail. He'll come into Chicago ice, turns around, avoids a check, but gave the puck right away to Troy Murray. Murray blasting one. Romano off balance, but he got the glove up. That's done his left hand. Lemieux back with 24 seconds to go in the penalty. Bullard comes in. He hops, trying to avoid the check, but he lost possession of the puck. And that should just about do it.
Penguins point men were hoping that the Blackhawks would back up and get into that box, but they would have none of it. They just kept pressuring them out by the blue line. Consequently, the Penguins couldn't set up on the power play.
Duguay flips it in with 4 seconds to go in the penalty. Lemieux can't get to it. And here comes Keith Brown on, so the Penguins are 1 for 5 in the power play. Lemieux moves it in again to the Chicago zone. Down the left side, stops, looking. He's hit enough by Nyland to get off balance, but he gets it back. Now to Bodger, right point, a quick shot. Stave made, the rebound. Out to Savard. The game opens up. Savard's pass, though, picked off neatly by Doug Bodger. Bodger would have to be considered for a star tonight in this game. Ruskowski trying to center for Duguay. Comes in front. Larmer turns in dangerous territory and flips it out of his own zone. Ron Duguay is bumped by Nyland. Up it comes to Savard. Circling. Lemieux comes in. Trying to knock him off the puck. Lemieux goes to the bench now as the Hawks regroup at center ice. Doug Wilson going to Dennis Savard. Backdoor pass intended for Secord. It was too hard. Around the puck goes for Shabbat, but he can't clear it. Dave Manson to Secord. Slap shot. And that sails wide of the net. Shabbat of the Penguins gathers it in. Looks like winger Ruskowski came off his stick. It's poked away by Manson, but comes to Buskus. Buskus sends it ahead for Ruskowski. Bodger coming off the ice. The puck hit his skates, but he wasn't intently trying to do it, so there will not be too many men on the ice. He's trying to get over the boards. Billy Siren in his own territory to Shabbat. Around the wood for Bob Arian. He lets it go, and it'll come all the way down to the Chicago end of the rink. We've played 4 minutes and 10 seconds here in the third period. The Penguins lead 2-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks. Penguins trying to make it 3 in a row to start the season. Ed Olchek coming down, a heavy slap shot, and that missed the target. Off the board so quickly it came all the way to center ice. The Hawks again gained possession. It's Dave Manson of Chicago, their defenseman, to Doug Wilson. Pass not connected. Willie Lidstrom handles it neatly. He goes to Bullard on the right side. The Bullard comes in. Got a man there. A quick shot by Bob Arian. He's turned away by Bannerman. Big save by Bannerman. As Bullard put that puck right on Bob Arian's stick. Boy, Bullard's played a strong game tonight for the Penguins also. Here's Randy Cunneyworth leading the rush back. Long blast. And Bannerman put the right leg up to kick it out. Cunneyworth broke his stick on that shot. He had to get a new blade. Now he hits Presley as he cuts back into Penguin ice. Darryl Sutter a drop pass to Keith Brown, back center. And the Hawks captain can't handle it. Back in front to Presley, though. A quick wrist shot. And that was wide of the goal. Cunneyworth turns and ices the puck. It's heating up here as they go end-to-end in Chicago. Oh, what a hockey game we got going here. 14 minutes and 44 seconds left here in the third period. The scoreboard shows the Penguins leading the Chicago Blackhawks by the score of 2-1. And you're watching and listening to it all right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Race fans, hot rodders, it's the U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Full Nationals. 2 big nights of earth-shaking action. Friday, October 31st and Saturday, November 1st, blasting out of the Pittsburgh Civic Arena gate at 8 p.m. both nights, featuring Super Chevy USA 1, plus the all-new supercharged sport truck class, and the flip-top funny car shootout with Tom the Mongoose McEwen taking on Magnum Force. Tickets now, Pittsburgh Civic Arena, Kaufman's, Horns, and late ticket outlets. Join the fun Friday, October 31st and Saturday, November 1st. It's an all-out war on wheels.
Well, you know, before this one's all done, the crowd is going to come into play again. They are just crazy here unless the Penguins get another goal. If it becomes a one-goal game, it's going to go right to the very end, and they will be behind this club. 15,942 on hand tonight, and they make enough noise to sound like 100,000, believe me. Here from the face-off, Bill Watson will have it deflected. Now Frazier picks it up, and he shoots one wide of the cage. Keith Brown holds it in. They flip it towards the net. The Penguins trying to get the puck out of their own territory. It's right at the blue line. They'll battle for it. Now kick it outside. Put back in by Chicago. But the Penguins will force it outside the line. Now an offside call as Frazier tapped it back in for the Hawks.
Boy, Murray Bannerman made a huge save a little earlier on Bob Airy, who had come down the left side. Mike Bullard with Airy on the 2-on-1 break, and Bullard slid it across to Airy. And Bannerman did what all goaltenders will do in that situation. He just immediately slid over to the right side of the net, figuring to cover the shot on Airy, and he's exactly what he did. He anticipated perfectly. Airy dusted it off for just a second before he took the shot. Bannerman came sliding over and made a great save.
Mark Bertigu works at Stereo 1160 in Indiana, one of our Penguin radio network stations. Wanted to drop by and say hello to all his friends back home and his wife Debbie, so we will say hello to them. Tom Goss, who's running the controls back there. It's a 2-1 hockey game with the Penguins leading. We have played almost 6 minutes here in the third period, and we have an icing call against the Penguins, bringing the puck back into Penguin real estate. Shots are 27-22. Penguins have had 5 shots in this third period. The Hawks have had 1.
We saw Randy Cunningworth take a long shot from the blue line. The Penguins have taken a lot of long shots on Bannerman here tonight, and the reason is probably because Bob Berry told him to do that. The book on Bannerman is that you might be able to catch him by surprise. You take those long drives on him. Penguins have done that to him in the past, but he's been pretty sharp tonight on just about every shot the Penguins have taken at him.
Face off to the left of Romano, and Chicago controls. Everett Sanafas. Sanafas working out here in the left wing, and he's got that puck, number 7. Lemieux steps into him. Lemieux trying to whack the puck out of his own zone. Does get it ahead to Duguay. Duguay slows down, but now gets it ahead to Ruskowski. Now back to Duguay. He'll come up the left wing. Bergevin pulls him down. He says there was no penalty, and referee Bob Hall agrees. Bergevin now with possession of the puck. Swing it far side to Bob Murray. Out of Chicago zone. Murray, the Hawks defenseman, blasts the puck in. Takes a weird bounce off the corner boards. Comes around. Everett Sanafas is hit by Rod Buskins. They battle one another. Sanafas had 320 minutes in penalty time last year in the Quebec Junior League. So he's got some toughness, too. He's in front of that net. Look out. Backhander by Rich Preston, and it went wide of the goal. Now Ruskowski storms back for the Penguins. He'll cut into the Chicago end. Leave the puck for Duguay. Poke checked away. Hawks counterattack. Sanafas trying to make a play. He broke his stick as he came in. He was hit by Billy Searing. Boy, Lemieux playing both into the ice, too, for the Penguins. Here's Duguay now working back into Chicago territory. Leave it for Searing. He doesn't go in to get the puck. He just backs up and plays defense with a 2-1 lead. A smart move there by Billy Searing, the young 20-year-old defenseman. Dennis Savard got around Pennyworth, got around Hannon. Into the Penguins end on the right wing. Put it in front for Secord and hit Romano. Romano reaches to get the puck. It's not there. Back to the left point. Doug Wilson there. Slap shot. Arm save made. Rebound. And clear for the Penguins. Randy Hillier. Now Dave Hannon leaves it for Hillier. And he got it ahead out of the zone. Penguins clearing that puck very effectively. The only goal the Hawks have had was on a rebound play as Secord got his own. 2-1. This has been a very fast-tempoed game. Good action. The Hawks again step into Penguin ice, and Hannon able to take it away. Going to Mike Bullard. He got around Manson, the rookie. Goes into the left wing corner. Goes behind the net for the Penguins. Lower down, Manson catches up to him and bumps him off the puck and takes the puck away. Good play by Dave Manson. Manson now into Penguin ice to Secord. Has some room. Centers it. Nobody is there. And Jim Johnson, the Penguin blue liner, works his way up. Back for the Penguins. Lead pass to Frawley off his stick. It'll carry him to the Chicago end. Bannerman steps out of the goal for the Hawks. That big goaltender's blade winds around to Secord. Right wing pass to Steve Larmer. 11 and a half to go in the third period. Penguins lead 2-1. Lemieux with a steal at center. Working to Frawley. Lemieux's double shifting right now with Young and Frawley. Presley pointed back to center circle. Frawley picked it off, going to Lemieux. Now back to Hillier, and a right wing pass deep into Chicago ice. Bannerman again out of the net for Keith Brown. Chicago defenseman plays it off the glass to Darryl Sutter. Penguins able to keep it in. Look at Lemieux giving the puck to Frawley. Frawley shot that one. It was deflected. Off the right wing corner, Lemieux. Lemieux centers. Got Searing cutting for the net. A backhander trickles off a stick and right to the goal, and Bannerman holds on. Lemieux double shifting and doing it all for the Penguins, both offensively and defensively. Well, the Penguins here in the third period have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. 10:55 left. A lot of time to go. And the score, 2-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
There's excitement in the air again at Boyle and Lane Cadillac. For the second year in a row, Boyle and Lane has won the coveted National Service Excellence Award. #1 in service over 134 Cadillac dealers in the Cleveland zone. It's no wonder the pride and commitment to excellence that goes into every service performed at Boyle and Lane can be seen everywhere, from the sparkling cleanliness of their service department to the pride of their all-factory trained service technicians. No matter where you bought your Cadillac, for service, come to Boyle and Lane. For the second year in a row, #1 in Cadillac service.
Bob Pulford, the coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, looking on as his team has a 1-1 record. And Bob Berry, the Penguin mentor. Back on the Hawks. Driving from center ice will be Gary Nyland. Out of the Penguin blue line. Left side to Frazier. He'll slip into the right wing corner. Off the boards, Keith Brown shoots one. Romano got a stick on that. The Penguin goaltender. It comes off behind the cage. Randy Hillier. He is pulled down by Bill Watson, but play goes on. Randy Cunneyworth trying to work the puck out of danger, and it's up into the Penguin bench. That's where it went. They'll call for the face-off in the Penguin zone.
You'll notice, Mike, that when the Penguins have the puck in the Chicago zone, the Penguins defensemen are hanging back just outside that blue line. They're not coming in. They're not going to pinch in at all. They're going to stay back. Penguins protecting the 2-1 lead right now with 10:26 to go in regulation time. Randy Cunneyworth shot the puck out of his own zone, or at least tried to, and it jumped over the glass and up into the stand, so a face-off to the left of Roberto Romano.
The Hawks here lifetime against the Penguins are 29-4-9. Overall, against Pittsburgh, the history of these two franchises, the Hawks have won 47 games, the Penguins only 22, and there have been 13 ties. Randy Hillier. Pittsburgh territory. Falls down, got it ahead to Lemieux. Again, double shifting now with Ruskowski and Duguay. Lemieux in the Hawks end. Wrist shot and stopped by the skates of Bannerman, and he dives to the ice to hold it. Almost got it between his legs.
Now there's a good example of how just a nice little wrist shot can sometimes find its way behind a goaltender. Lemieux just sneaked in a wrist shot on Bannerman down low, and Bannerman let it go between his pads and was able to squeeze it before it could get through and go into the net. Lemieux taking the puck up through the middle, trying to get Bergevin going one way towards the middle, and then swinging back out to the outside of the right down that right faceoff circle and taking the wrist shot on Bannerman.
Believe it or not, Mario, although double shifting, and of course the long game last night appears to be getting stronger. Right from the faceoff, he put the shot on Bannerman. Very quick to make the stick save. Siren now around to the near boards for Mario Lemieux. Finally rubbed out of the action, and Ed Olczyk moves it back to center ice. Darryl Sutter played it inside the Penguin line. Randy Hillier. And it'll be called back on a two-line pass. As Hillier fed it ahead for Ron Duguay on the left wing.
Randy Hillier getting his first chance to play on defense for the Penguins tonight, doing a pretty good job in his own end. He's cleared a couple of rebounds away and generally made some good plays out of his own zone. In fact, that goes for all the Penguin defensemen tonight. They're moving the puck out of their own end very quickly with those good, crisp, head-manning passes, and that's the key. You don't want to get caught running around in your own zone. And the Penguins have done a good job of finding the open man and quickly snapping it up out of their own end.
Olczyk at center ice with Wayne Presley and Darryl Sutter. So Bob Pulford does some shuffling of the lines here in the third period. Chicago trailing by 1, 2-1. Lemieux able to get to the puck, though. He skates his way to the Chicago zone. Drop pass for Duguay. Slap shot blocked by Bergevin, the Hawks defenseman. Now Olczyk and Ruskowski colliding. Puck played into the left wing corner. Ruskowski back to Bodger of the Pens. He shot one off the net. Bannerman got a goaltender's stick on it, though. And Bergevin able to get it to Bob Murray. Can't clear the zone. The Penguins forcing it around the net. The Penguins appear to be getting stronger right now. That's a good sign for this hockey club. Getting strong in the third period with a 1-goal lead. Let's see if they can hold it. Lemieux. Sometimes you've got to learn how to win. We've talked about that over the years for the Penguins. Maybe this will be the season they learn to do that. Darryl Sutter, though, back for the Hawks. He cuts into Penguin ice. Goes behind the net. Lindstrom took a hard check. Cleared up the left wing boards. And the Pens get it out. They will carry it out. Lindstrom this time. 9 minutes to go in the game in the third period. Here is Bob Erie, off wing. Comes in, and Doug Wilson puts the body into him. Willie Lindstrom able to sneak it. Get it to the right point to Mantha. Shot. A good pad save made by Bannerman. The rebound. And it's cleared to the blue line, but not out. Bob Erie giving the puck to Shabbat. Shabbat to Willie Lindstrom. Avoids his stick. And Chicago turns and counterattacks. Darryl Sutter. Sutter just doesn't seem to have the speed that he had at one time. Of course, he's been bothered by injuries in his career. And he just doesn't seem to have that hop. He hobbles himself to the Chicago bench. He might be hurt, too. 8:17 to go. The Hawks storm out of their own zone. Here's a guy with all the speed left, though. Al Secord. He still has it. Shoot it in behind the Penguin net. Romano clears it away to the near side. Savard digging for it. The Hawks look like they're going to try and come out here and get the tying goal with this line, but it'll come to Hannon. Hannon bursting back for the Penguins, going to the Chicago zone. Make a shot, looks for a trailer now. Can't find anybody. And is pushed away by Chicago into the Penguins' right wing corner, all the way up ice. Danton carries it from behind his own net. Long pass up the ice. Might be an icing call. And then it is. Well, we have 7 minutes and 42 seconds left here. In this, the third period of action. Pittsburgh Penguins leading the Chicago Blackhawks by the score of 2-1. We'll take a break right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so, Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
The only scoring came in the first two periods. A goal by Doug Bodger in period number 1 on a power play for the Penguins. And then Secord with a man advantage on a power play goal in the second. Mario Lemieux with a go-ahead goal. Gary Nyland and Dave Hannon now with some words as the Penguins are called for icing. Nyland at 6'4". Hannon isn't going to go anywhere. He'll chirp all night. He'll talk all night with him.
The funny thing about Dave Hannon, I'm sure that he's an agitator. He could probably get guys pretty upset. And you see a little guy like that. He used to even make his own teammates mad a couple of years ago, but he's learned to control it around his own guys. But when he's on the ice, he can really get you going, and I'm sure that Gary Nyland has heard enough from him. The thing about Dave Hannon, he comes to play, no question about that. And he has come a long way in a couple of years. Last year playing on the checking line and doing such a good job playing the left side. Now this year moving to the right wing with Mike Bullard and doing just about anything you ask of him, doing an outstanding job of killing penalties. He has become a real pro, and you got to give him credit because he paid his dues.
.7:32 left, third period. And a false face-off on the Penguins' end.
With the Penguins icing the puck the way they are, Mike, the face-offs become that much more important because they're going to be coming up here to the left of Romano and the right of Romano often.
And Savard won this draw. Comes to the right point to Doug Wilson. Left side to Bob Murray. Slap shot, and that missed the mark. Comes off the boards and quickly back to center ice. The Hawks have to get people outside of the zone before they can crank it up and go back in. They're at center now, and it's Secord. He backpedals to his own zone. Leaves up for Bob Murray. Murray's pass off the stick of Larmer, but Secord takes over. Jim Johnson after him. Secord still shoots the puck, and Romano stops it. Larmer follows on to take a crack at it as Romano had it. But Roberto held it right there. We'll get another face-off in Pittsburgh territory. 7:08 to go in the third period. The Penguins have the lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. We will take a timeout here in Chicago as you're watching and listening to the game here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Lou Pappan, and if you're hungry for good breakfast, come to Pappan's Family Restaurants and let us cook for you. You're gonna like it. You can have 2 eggs anywhere you like them, home fries, peel and cook freshly every morning, toast, butter, jelly, and all the Colombian coffee you can drink for only $1.89. So remember, I promise you, good food, good service, or your money back, and that's a promise.
Try Uncle Lou's breakfast special at a Pappan's near you.
Another important face-off in the Pittsburgh zone.
Now there's a lot of jockeying going on right now. There at Santa Pass for the Hawks out here with Troy Murray and Bill Watson.
Santa Pass is a guy who actually was given a tryout, or offered a tryout by the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a pitcher, but he wanted to play hockey.
There's another guy who was a pitcher who's going to pitch Tuesday in Boston, who was a hockey player, Kirk McCaskill, playing with the California Angels. Puck turned away by the Penguins again. They'll be called for another icing call. They've gone to the defensive shell right now and just trying to keep the puck out of their own zone. Interestingly enough about Kirk McCaskill, and I happen to know his father quite well, and his father was a professional hockey player, played briefly for Minnesota in the National Hockey League, and a great competitor and probably one of the toughest guys I ever saw play the game. McCaskill signed with the Jets and had an opportunity to play with their minor league team and just didn't really work out. He went back to pitching.
I would say
he basically was born and raised in not born and raised, but in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where he grew up. So he had a lot of baseball inclination being there, and you can play 12 months of the year right there.
I guarantee you, he's the only guy to ever appear on the cover of the Hockey News in a baseball uniform.
Here's Brown, and he shot that. Bucket was deflected from the Penguins' end. Mario Lemieux comes up with it, and he'll slide it back across 2 lines. It'll be a 2-line pass called.
Of course, there have been a lot of guys who played hockey and baseball. You remember Richie Hebner. He was a pretty good hockey player in his day. Fortunately, he decided to play baseball and a pretty nice career. Talked about Bob Berry being a baseball player and a hockey player as well as a football player. You're a good athlete, you can do it all, and there's a lot of these guys can play golf too, which is something they probably enjoy doing more than anything.
Well, the one thing I found with the experience with baseball this year is how many great athletes there are in the game of baseball. How many of them played football, basketball, and baseball, and were stars at their respective schools. And if there had been hockey, they probably would have played that too. .6:45 left here in the third period. The tempo is slowing now as the Penguins protect the lead. Santa Pass with a steal, put it in for Troy Murray, and that won't connect as it comes off the far boards of the Penguin zone. Warren Young knocks it ahead back to center. Gary Nyland of Chicago. He looked ahead, shot it up into the Penguins near corner. Bodger took a step check from Troy Murray. It goes around to the far side. Murray is after it. Troy Murray right point to Keith Brown. Band on the shot. It hit the heel of the stick, and Lemieux will carry it out. Goes back 3-on-2. Now Lemieux slows the play down. Young on the left side coming down, fakes a shot, moves in, Brawley's in front of the net, shoots and scores! Warren Young! And the Penguins lead 3-1. Oh, look out, Loretta. What a fine play by Young. He just pulled everybody down and faked out Bannerman and slipped it in. The Penguins by 2. Oh, Young coming back in a hurry. Brawley was around the net, but I believe Young will get the goal all the way.
Well, Warren Young with 2 assists tonight on the Penguins. 3 goals, fakes the shot. The defenseman goes down, takes the puck, fakes out Bannerman, throws it in behind him, and Dan Frawley going right to the net, deflects it in behind Bannerman to give the Penguins a 3-1 lead. Well, what a play by Warren Young, dancing with that puck and using that great stick handling ability that he does have. He fakes the shot once, then goes around Bannerman, got it underneath him, and I don't even think Frawley touched the puck. It's Young's goal all the way.
It's Young. And the Penguins take a 3-1 lead, and a big goal it was right there. Roy Lemieux was the man that set the play up. He fed it ahead. It broke into a 2-on-1. We thought Lemieux might trail the play and make it a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1. But he slowed the tempo down, and he made a perfect pass to Young, and he did the rest. So the Penguins lead 3-1 here in Chicago, trying to make it 3 in a row. Their best start ever. It's only went 4-0 in 1975. Here are the Hawks back in front of the Penguin net. They can't make a play, and Cunneyworth turns and clears it off the boards. Now the Penguins played a very slow down tempo, waited for a break, and they got it. Now they're called for icing here with 5:34 to go in the third period. That's right, the score, the Penguins 3, the Chicago Blackhawks 1, and we'll take a timeout right here on the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
Why is he so happy? He just bought a new car from Calusi Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevy dealer.
Boy, he's smart.
Okay, guys, I need to win now. Got it. 4!
No matter how you play the game, you'll still come out the winner at Calusi Chevrolet.
At 13:50.
The goal again by the Penguins, Warren Young. It came at 13:50 of the final period. Mario Lemieux had the only assist, so Lemieux has a goal and an assist here tonight. A go-ahead goal. Now he's assisting on the insurance one. Back in front of the Penguins in a scramble, and the Hawks trying to put it in. They can't do it. Holding call, though, coming up against the Pens. A penalty coming up here, as Mo Mantha, I believe, will get the call for holding Steve Larmer, and the Penguins will be shorthanded.
Well, this is the Blackhawks' big line right there right now. With Denis Savard centering for Larmer and Secord. They're the guys who racked up all the power play goals over the years, and now they'll have a chance to continue, stay right here on the shift, and work on the power play. Mantha goes off for holding. Larmer had the puck in the slot, or wanted it anyway, and Mantha just wrapped him up and tackled him to the ice right out in the slot in front of Roberto Romano. And so the Hawks will have a power play chance again with Mantha in the penalty box. A face-off deep in Penguins territory.
The Hawks have 35 shots on goal tonight against Roberto Romano. He's allowed but one to get by. The Hawks' only goal came in a power play goal by Al Secord. Face-off will be in the Penguins' end, the right wing circle. 5:20 to go in regulation time. Secord had a stick held nicely by Jimmy Johnson. Boy, that's another little play the Penguins made right there, so Secord could not get to the puck. Jimmy Johnson made that, the second-year defenseman. Now Larmer on the right wing board. Giving the puck to Doug Wilson. Wilson slides to Bob Murray, the Hawks point man at the left point. Back to Wilson. Now to Murray again. They've got the man open right side. It goes to Doug Wilson. A heavy shot off the stick of Romano up over the crossbar. Off the glass, Steve Larmer controls. Right point to Doug Wilson. Back to Larmer. He could try to go rink wide. Searing got a piece of it. It comes to Savard. A quick shot. That save is made by Romano from the left wing circle on Savard. The rebound. The Penguins can't get it out. Larmer looks for a trailer. Wilson, left point. Into the near corner for Dennis Savard. A minute 18 to go on the penalty. Savard with Secord in front of that net. Johnson holding his stick. Savard now trying to put it in front. That's cleared by John Shabbat. Boy, I wish we had an isolated camera to watch Jimmy Johnson work on that last shift against Al Secord. The little things that he did to try and prevent the big guy from getting the advantage on it. Now Keith Brown directs it up into the Penguin zone. Secord took a whack at Randy Cunnyworth with the blade. He's frustrated right now. The Penguins have done a good job on him, and it's cleared away back into Chicago ice. 50 seconds to go on the penalty. And here are the Hawks rushing up with 4 minutes now left in the third period. Troy Murray winding his way through traffic, centers it. One right by Bodger and Secord. Secord knocked down Bodger. Right point. Keith Brown to Chicago. And it comes back to Secord. To Brown again. Going to Doug Wilson left point. Now Secord right wing circle. Takes the puck, shoots it, deflected, went wide. Secord goes behind the net. He's trying to step it into the backhand, and Romano says no, and he stops it right there. Cunnyworth and Secord push and shove. And I told you Secord's frustrated right now. He's worked so hard in the game. The Hawks trail 3-1. Boy, he's just such a great competitor, Al Secord. You love to hate him, but boy, you'd love to have him on your club. No question about it.
Boy, he had the puck out to the left of Romano, took a shot, looked like it was ticketed for the far post, and it hit something on the way in. One of the Penguin defensemen. Secord got his own rebound, circled the net. Romano had gone down, had fallen down really, but had his eyes on Secord and was able to get the puck and freeze it against the goal cage as Secord came swinging around the net. And then one of the Penguins went after Secord. It was Randy Cunnyworth. And they all bunched up in behind that Pittsburgh goal.
3-1, the Penguins lead with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left here in the third period. 22 to go on the penalty to Mo Mantha, who went out for holding. Hawks' 7th power play chance. They are 1 for 6 on the night. And the puck controlled by the Hawks. Gary Nyland snapping towards the net. Romano again down low to make the save. Bob Erie sneaking ahead. Back comes to Shabbat. He's up to the Chicago line. Should kill the rest of penalty now as he drops it in behind Murray Bannerman. Under 3.5 to go in the third period. Mantha's ready to come back on. In 1 second, he'll step on. Hawks cut into the Penguins in. Troy Murray left side has room. Goes right side to Brown as he moves in. His shot was deflected. It went in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Now Troy Murray falls down as he chased it to the corner. Got back up. Trying to work around Shabbat. Shabbat reaches in with that stick. Poked it free. But Kurt Fraser goes to Olczyk in behind the Pittsburgh goal. He can't make a play. And Billy Searin now and Kurt Fraser pushing shot. And again, they jam it up in behind the Pittsburgh goal. The tough customer and Kurt Fraser. And we have 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the third period. The Penguins lead the Chicago Blackhawks with a score of 3-1. We'll be back in a moment and have the final moments of this game for you on the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
TCI, cable TV, another command performance. The comedy, laughter, we got what you're after. The sports and the news that give you the view. The movies, the dramas, you can watch in pajamas. The rockin' and rollin', the music is flowing. It's an easy decision. TCI cable television. Always a command performance for you.
Well, that's not the right time to take a penalty, is it? Kurt Fraser will go to the penalty box for the Blackhawks, and now the Penguins will have a power play for all but the remaining 58 seconds of regulation time, unless they score first.
Roughing call against Fraser for taking a whack at Billy Searin. So the Hawks are shorthanded. Now you got to be thinking too, would they pull Bannerman even though they are shorthanded? Lemieux with the puck. Mario's doing in a great performance tonight, an offside call against Chicago. This is going to be tough to take. Now what have we got? We've got a penalty coming up here against the Penguins apparently.
Well, I don't know why it would be a delay of game. You'd think against the Hawks for throwing the puck right up into the stands that way in frustration. Unsportsmanlike conduct would be seem like the proper call here.
And that's what it's going to be. The Hawks are going to be shorthanded by another man.
And I hope the fan is okay who got hit by the puck. Shot the puck right up into the stands, and the fans up there are sitting ducks.
It's a young girl. Should be more about 8 or 9 years old.
Yep. That was Elvis Presley who did that. I guarantee you they call him Elvis. His name's Wayne. No way he's not called Elvis by his teammates. Right now he's playing a little jailhouse rock in the penalty box.
Well, the organist plays Love Me Tender. That's what he's playing. Well, Presley goes in for delay of game. So the Hawks will be shorthanded by 2 men. They've effectively taken themselves out of this hockey game in a hurry. Penalty by Fraser for roughing at 17:02, and Presley a delay of game penalty.
That's the frustration showing on the Blackhawks. They've had their chances tonight on the power play, and normally they would cash in a few more times than they did tonight, but the Penguins penalty killing has been outstanding, as it has in all 3 games really for the Penguins, with the exception of a lapse last night against the Rangers.
US Air scoreboard, Winnipeg now leading Edmonton 5-3 in the third period. So they've come from behind after the Oilers led 3-2 in the second period. All right, Lemieux with Ruskowski and Duguay. All the Penguins have to do is just keep themselves clean, not cause any problems, and walk away down the runway and say thank you. With 2:48 to go. They've got a 2-man advantage. They bring the puck into the Chicago zone, and Jim Johnson just steers it in behind the net. Duguay going back behind the goal, but Doug Wilson takes it, slides it all the way to the Penguin goaltender Roberto Romano.
It's a chance for the Penguins to work their 5-on-3 situation, a real thing instead of just in practice.
Well, they just right now got to be content just to get the puck across the line and dump it in. They don't have to get fancy with it, worry about goals. Here's Lemieux going to Ruskowski. If they come, they come. But just don't give it away on a bad mistake, allowing the Hawks to come back on a breakaway. Here is Doug Wilson knocking down Duguay, and a hand pass called.
Mike, there isn't any question that the Penguins have played their best game tonight of the 3 this season. They went through it some tough times against Washington, getting down 3-0, and then last night against the Rangers, getting the lead and then frittering it away and having to come back. But for 60 minutes, they played solid hockey here tonight, and they have been outstanding. I guess it's 50. It would be 57 minutes and 51 seconds.
Well, I want to know where frittering is. I haven't seen that now.
They frittered it away.
Is that in the?
I don't know.
Dictionary? Frittered it. That's your Pittsburghese coming through.
Well, now the Penguins just want to red up and go home. Well, the referees and the linesmen do, I think, the officials here, because there's some derbis on the ice, some debris out there.
Faceoff will be in Chicago territory to the left of Murray Bannerman, who made his first start of the year tonight. The Penguins have banged in for 3. Romano has just been brilliant in goal. And if the Penguins hold on, he'll be 2-0.
Chicago fans continue to throw garbage on the ice in the Pittsburgh zone, which is not very smart.
Mike Bullard against Troy Murray. And the Hawks come up with a face-off. Can they clear it out? They can't. Bodger at the left side with a 2-man advantage. Penguins lead 3-1. Bodger the right side to Billy Searin. Now to Mike Bullard. Bullard takes his time. He has all day. There's no rush for it. Center point going to Billy Searin. Now back to Bullard. Looks the net over. Slanted over now to the open. Man, a shot in by the Pens. Doug Bodger, who gets his 3rd goal of the year. And what a pretty pass by Mike Bullard there. Oh, Bodger really coming to life in the goal-scoring department. And the Penguins make it 4-1. It's a power play goal with a 2-man advantage.
Bodger just simply redirected the puck into the net. Mike Bullard doing some fancy passing work in that face-off circle out to the left of Bannerman. Just threw it across to Bodger, and he just one-timed it into the net. And he just kind of pushed it and redirected it from way out in the circle past Murray Bannerman.
Look at the pass, though, by Bullard right there.
A perfect pass by Bullard. He used Billy Searin as the decoy. Hawks wondering which way he was going to go.
Well, Doug Bodger gets his 3rd of the year, and we'll take a timeout. We look at the scoreboard. It shows the Penguins lead it over the Hawks by the score of 4-1 here at the stadium. And we tell you this is the Penguins Hockey Network.
This is Boys Town. Saturday night, the boys take on the New Jersey Devils, and it's Stroh's Mug Night. All fans 17 and over receive this handsome drinking mug, compliments of Stroh's. Come on down to Boys Town for a hockey night in Pittsburgh.
Doug Bodger from Mike Bullard. We'll see if there's another assist on him. Bullard with his 3rd goal of the year, 2nd of the night. Here's Savard blasting the puck into the Penguins, and that hurt Bodger. Bodger humbled by that shot by Dennis Savard. Penguins still with a 2nd power play opportunity now with Presley off. And that brought Frazier out of the box, of course. And play his whistle down here. Bob Berry upset about something. Bodger going to try and get off here. He got hit with that shot. Looks to me like he's favoring her leg.
I think Bob probably wants him to clean up the garbage in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Somebody could get hurt back there.
Well, they're just taking pot shots from the stands here in the upper deck and everywhere, throwing debris on the ice.
Terry Ruskowski told us before the game that these fans can get awful ugly, just as they can be very loud and boisterous and really get behind their Blackhawks. When things go poorly, they can really turn on them in a hurry, and that's the way you really want to get it here when you're the visiting team. You want to get the fans against the Blackhawks and coming down on them to frustrate them even more. But I don't think this is exactly what the Penguins would like to see, with the fans throwing all the garbage on the ice and then having to play, skate around all the cups and paper that's thrown all over the ice.
Minute and a half to go. Mark Bergevin just took a spill all by himself out at the blue line, drawing a reaction from the crowd here. Well, there were 15,942 in here moments ago, but there can be no more than 5,000 here right now. They've just filed out. 4-1 the Penguins lead with a minute 23 to go in the 3rd period. And the puck is on the faceoff from the Penguins in back to Chicago territory. The Hawks turn and clear it off the board. And we have 22 seconds to go in the penalty to Wayne Presley. A minute 10 now to go in the 3rd. From his own end, Jim Johnson. Relayed the puck to Momantha. Outlet pass left wing on the power play to Raskowski. Now to Lemieux. Lemieux. Trying to pass it back to Raskowski. Came off the leg. Lemieux gets it again. Right point to Mantha. Mantha gives it back to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux going left side. Johnson put it in for Duguay in the slot. Duguay took a heavy check from Bergerman. Now Lemieux again with it. Lemieux off the boards, walking to the net. Wrist shot, and that stop is made. Rebound, and he shot that one off something up into the crowd. The penalty has expired to Wayne Presley, and we have 39 seconds to go now in the third period. So the Penguins will come home 3-0 and will face the Los Angeles Kings on Tuesday night. An opportunity to make it 4 in a row. And don't look now, folks, but the Pittsburgh Penguins are atop of the Patrick Division all by themselves. With a 3-0 mark, New Jersey and Philadelphia fall to second. Poor Flyers. And we come back to play as Secord knocks down Willie Lindstrom. Now he gives him a cross check again with a stick. Kind of an unusual situation there. The Hawks break into the Penguin zone. Up with it is Larmer. Larmer can't make a play. Back on the Penguins. They've got a 3-on-2 developing. 19 seconds to go, but they're called an offside play.
Well, you have to look back to the goal by Warren Young as being the big one that really got things kind of stowed away for the Penguins here tonight. Warren Young coming up with a goal and an assist in his first game back in a Penguin uniform. He's got to be pretty happy about that. Bob Airey has played a very strong game for the Penguins here tonight.
And we go back to action here as it's rolled into the Penguin zone. Romano's going to club the puck and hold on. They evidently announced the assist on the goal by Bodger as Raskowski and Billy Siren, but Bullard's the man that made the pass to him, so whatever, we just can't keep you updated. Look for a change tomorrow in the paper, folks. Bodger got the goal, 18-13 the time.
That was obviously an assist by Bullard. He made the play on the power play situation.
Well, this one, which really had a great pace to it, quick tempo, they were really flying along. Now slowed down from the face-off. Doug Wilson with 9 seconds to go missed the Penguin net as he took a shot. It's cleared back to center. Penguins will be 1-0 on the road this year. And Wilson corrals it. 1 second left, and the siren sounds. That's it. It's all over here in Chicago. The Pittsburgh Penguins have moved their record to 3-0 in the season, as tonight they have defeated the Chicago Blackhawks. The final score here tonight, Pittsburgh 4 and the Chicago Blackhawks 1. And this is the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Lou Pappan, and if you're hungry for good breakfast, come to Pappan's Family Restaurants and let us cook for you. You're gonna like it. You can have 2 eggs anywhere you like them, home fries, peeled and cooked freshly every morning, toast, butter, jelly, and all the Colombian coffee you can drink for only $1.89. So remember, I promise you, good food, good service, or your money back, and that's a promise.
Try Uncle Lou's breakfast special at a Pappan's near you.
TCI, cable TV, another command performance. With comedy, laughter, we got what you're after. The sports and the news that give you the view. The movies, the dramas, you can watch in pajamas. The rockin' and rollin', the music is flowing. It's an easy decision. TCI cable television. Always a command performance for you.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so, Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
Mercedes-Benz. Unequaled design and exhilarating performance are what define today's Mercedes-Benz. A car for the enthusiast like the sophisticated new 300 class. You'll find them at Wetzel Motor Works, a Mercedes-Benz dealership worthy of the car itself, devoted exclusively to the needs of the Mercedes-Benz owner. An unequaled automobile at an unequaled dealership. Wetzel Motor Works is Mercedes-Benz in Pittsburgh, just minutes from downtown in Pittsburgh's South Hills.
Well, the Penguins carried a 2-1 lead to the final period, and goals by Warren Young and Doug Bodger, his second of the night, his third of the year. The most goals Bodger ever scored in his career in one season was 5. That was 2 years ago, at 4 last season. So he looks to be right on mark to surpass that in a hurry in the early part of the year. And it's good news for the Penguins because they wanted some goal production out of Doug Bodger, and they got it.
Yes, they did, and Doug Bodger has always had the good hard slap shot, Mike. It's just that he sometimes didn't know where it was going, and he just didn't get it off with that confidence and get it off quickly. But now he's starting to really take the shot with confidence and get it where he wants it, and it's going into the net.
All right, the Penguins winning over the Chicago Blackhawks, and our post-game show will be coming up next. We'll be going to overtime. As we tell you, the Penguins win it over the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1 right here on the Penguins Hockey Network. Okay. Yeah. Well, we welcome you back to our overtime show here tonight from Chicago, where the Pittsburgh Penguins have defeated the Chicago Blackhawks by the score of 4-1. The Penguins winning 3 in a row now and are atop the Patrick division with that record. The goal scoring tonight, the Penguins getting the opening goal by Doug Bodger, and that was his second of the year, and it came at .350. We've got some highlights. In the second period, Secord tied it for the Hawks at 16:02 to make it 1-1. Lemieux came back to give the Penguins a 2-1 lead at 16:20. Then we went to the third period.
And then it was Warren Young and Doug Bodger who scored for the Penguins, but Warren Young's really the guy that broke the ice. This third goal is so important. The next goal was going to be a big one, and Young made a great play, faking out the Blackhawk defenseman, moving right in on goal, and Bannerman had gone down too. Young almost from an impossible angle, really. He was almost at the side of the net, but just kind of feathered the puck, just got to slide off the blade of his stick into the net on the far side, inside the post, and that made it 3-1. And Warren Young's first goal of the season and the first goal since coming back in a Penguin uniform. And Dan Frawley was right at the post. We thought maybe he scored the goal, but he didn't. Then Bodger got his second goal of the night. On the power play, the Penguins had the two-man advantage. Mike Bullard dancing around with a puck in the face-off circle, threw it across the slot. Bodger right there in the right face-off circle out to the right of Bannerman, and he just directed the puck, redirected it back into the net and in behind Bannerman, and that made it 4-1, and the Penguins had themselves the game all wrapped up. And then it took about a half hour to play the last minute and a half while the fans threw garbage all over the ice. We don't have any highlights of that. We have another angle on the Penguins Bodger goal. Mike Bullard giving it to Willie Siren. Siren gave it back to Bullard. Then he threw it across, and Doug Bodger in the circle just redirected it, and Bannerman had no chance to get back over in time and block the shot. He sprawled to his right, but Bodger getting it off so quickly, just redirecting it, that was the key. Got it into the net, and the Penguins had themselves the 4-1 lead.
All right, the shots on goal again. The Penguins in the first period 4, Chicago 15. In the second period, the Penguins outshot the Hawks 13-11. Third period, Chicago one better than the Pens, 14-13. The game total, Chicago 40 and Pittsburgh 30. Back with some final thoughts, some other scores around the National Hockey League. That's all coming up. Here from Chicago, the final again, the Penguins 4 and the Blackhawks 1, right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Lou Papin, and if you're hungry for good breakfast, come to Papin's Family Restaurants and let us cook for you. You're gonna like it. You can have 2 eggs anywhere you like them, home fries, peel and cook freshly every morning, toast, butter, jelly, and all the Colombian coffee you can drink for only $1.89. So remember, I promise you, good food, good service, or your money back, and that's a promise.
Try Uncle Lou's breakfast special at a Papin's near you.
Why is he so happy? He just bought a new car from Calusi Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevy dealer.
Boy, he's smart.
Okay, guys, I need to win now. Got it. 4!
No matter how you play the game, you'll still come out the winner at Calusi Chevrolet.
Sometimes I swear I can smell it. See, Roy Rogers' fried chicken smells hot. It's crispy, too. The steam rises. It's all plump, juicy. It tastes so, Then you realize it's an hour till lunch. 59 minutes.
Well, we'll take a look at the Patrick Division standings and tell you about them.
Look who's on top. It's Pittsburgh and New Jersey. Pittsburgh 3-0 with 6 points. New Jersey having 2 wins and 4 points. Philadelphia right up there with 2 wins also. The Rangers, Islanders, and Washington all 0-2. And the Penguins now sitting on top, and that's got to be their best start in a long, long time. There was an item in the press notes about the Penguins not getting off to winning their first 2 games of the season since way back in the 75-76 season, I believe. I don't know how long they went with that win streak. It went up to 4, and they're now actually at 3-0. So they play Los Angeles on Tuesday night at the arena with a chance to tie that old record and then see if they can keep on rolling.
And a reminder to you that the Penguins back in action on Tuesday night against the Los Angeles Kings. That game will be on our Penguin Radio Network only. Here's a look at the out-of-town U.S. Air scoreboard. Boston beat Hartford tonight 7-2. Calgary over Buffalo 4-2. And Winnipeg leading Edmonton 5-3. That game, I don't know if that's a final or not. That was in the third period, the last score we had from Winnipeg. And it is. The Jets have beaten Edmonton now. And again on Tuesday on our Penguin Radio Network only, our broadcast will begin at 7:25.
Mike, would you care to pick a Foodland player of the game, maybe? See what you might be able to come up with here. I know you like Doug Bodger. He was playing well all along and then ended up getting the goal. I guess that kind of sewed it up for him. That's my choice anyway.
Well, it would have to be, I think, between him, Lemieux, and Romano. I would think as far as people. Romano played extremely well, but we'll give Dougie the #1 star and the Foodland player of the game because it's been a long time coming, and he got a couple tonight. All right, Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey has been brought to you by Penguin Hockey has been brought to you by Papin's, the restaurant with a promise, with good food, good service, or your money back. You're going to like it. And by TCI, your local cable company. Executive producer has been Bill Strong. Producer-director Doug Kennedy. This has been a CAC Sports presentation.